God, that's cool. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kind of Funny's Batman in Review. That's right. We are ranking and reviewing every theatrically released Batman movie. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by Andy Cortez.
Hello, Tim.
Greg Miller.
Kevin, do you do this to me on purpose to make me look short? Like, why am I'm like your child on this framing job you've done to me. I'm up here holding my two dads' hands of Andy and Kevin as I walk through the zoo.
We have Kevin Coelho. And we also have Nick Scarpino.
Greg, in this fantasy of yours, are you also still a small monkey as well?
Yeah, you like that? I did it like Suzanne.
Yeah, you did it like, yeah. I was like, wait, is Greg a monkey? And he's owned by two adult male parents, like human parents? Yeah.
Oh, man. We do this show live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. You can watch it later on youtube.com/kindoffunny or roosterteeth.com. If you want to listen to it, search your favorite podcast service for Kind of Funny reviews, and we'll be right there for you. If you want to get the show ad-free, we like to give you that option as well. You can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny, just like our Patreon producers, Muhammad and Al Tribesman did. Thank you guys both very, very much for everything. Some really, really fun in review news. I can announce here for the first time ever that once we finish Miyazaki in review this week, that means next week we're starting a new franchise. And what is that franchise, Greg Miller?
The Conjuring. Ooh, look at the ghost, Andy.
Oh,
It's flying. It's a ghost. It's a ghost. Look at the paper.
So we are doing the Conjuring Cinematic Universe in review.
I can't fucking wait.
Leading through October. So it's going to be like, midway through September. It's going to end the week of the Day of the Dead. Try to stay on theme here.
November 1st. We got it. We got Halloween content.
Yeah, it's going to be real exciting stuff.
I'm so excited. I already watched the first one.
Andy, how excited are you to watch Conjuring with me?
Well, what's crazy is for the next 2 months, I feel like I'm definitely unavailable. Like my schedule is really, really packed. So I will not be on the Conjuring in review. And the other night I get did you say the special guest? I may have.
I did not, because Ramirez Art Jam says, will it have Elise as a guest throughout? Oh, yes. Both James and Elise Willems will be joining us for the Conjuring in review for the spooky times.
I got a text message from both of them around the same time saying, first off, James texted me during the day, Andy, you're not going to be a part of this? What the fuck? And then I was like, dude, 2 months of this? No, thank you. I don't want, I don't want nightmares for the next 2 months. And then James and Elise both texted me at around the same time at night. We're watching the first one right now, and honestly, we're glad you're not a part of this. Like, this is really I don't know if you'd be able to take this shit.
It's spooky time, baby.
Thank you.
That is coming next week. Right now, we are talking about Batman 1989, released June 23rd, 1989, 7 days before I was born.
Wow.
Directed by Tim Burton, who says, I was never a giant comic book fan, but I've always loved the image of Batman and the Joker. The reason I've never been a comic book fan, and I think it started when I was a child, is because I could never tell which box I was supposed to read. I don't know if it was dyslexia or whatever, but that's why I love The Killing Joke, because for the first time I could tell which one to read. It's my favorite. It's the first comic I ever loved, and the success of those graphic novels made our ideas more acceptable. Cool little quote there.
Very good.
Music by Danny Elfman, the iconic score by Danny Elfman. My God, debatably the best part of this movie. It's just so good.
Well, come on. The music's by him and
Prince.
There
is a lot of Prince. There is a lot of Prince.
Oh my God, it's so good.
I would love to have been in that room with Prince when they were like, hey, Prince, can you do a song for this? And he was like, I like this movie so much, I'm going to do a whole album for it. Because you guys don't have to think about this for a second. He didn't just do one song. He did a bunch of songs.
He did the album.
Yeah.
Party Man. Come on. Party Man.
And they were just Batman themed.
I mean, and by the way, so when you were watching this when you were a kid, Greg, I don't know if you had the presence of mind for this, but I think I had an inkling where I was like, it's a little weird that this movie is peppered with Prince songs. Because they don't necessarily go like the aesthetic.
No, they don't.
No,
all these things
the purple
don't really go. And then I remember getting the album and it was just Bat Dance was on it. I was like, this wasn't even in the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't really understand this. And then years later, and I'm talking 6 months ago, we were listening to Trust You know, where he's going in and doing all.
Who do you love? Who do you love? Hubba hubba hubba.
And I was listening to my wife, and I was like, "It's so weird that they put Prince in this." She goes, "Are you out of your mind? This is like one of the best. This is like one of the best soundtracks ever for any movie." And I'm like, "Yeah, I accept that. I accept that." Hindsight being 2020.
See, that was the same thing. Watching it last night, like during the parade scene, like we did pause it, and Jen's like, "So wait, does Prince ever show up in this movie?" Nope. And I'm like, "No, they just love his music."
Dude, that parade scene.
He could have been on the parade. I'm like, no, it would have ruined it. It would have ruined it. We don't need Prince on the parade.
It went on so long. I was convinced for a while that the song was just going to loop and they were just going to play it again and just keep doing the parade. Shortly after completing the film, Tim Burton said, "I liked parts of it, but the whole movie's mainly boring to me. It's okay, but it was more of a cultural phenomenon than a great movie." He really wasn't enthusiastic about how Prince's songs were used in the film.
It was odd, and you'll see there's a. I mean, this is future spoilers, but I think there's a dizzying lack of Prince in the next one. I don't think he hired Prince for Returns at all.
I think Robert Ebert. That was Robert Ebert's one criticism of Batman Returns. Where's the Prince?
Not enough Prince. I'm a Batman. Beep, that's all I can think about.
Do you remember the music video to Bat Dance where he was dressed as the bat, but like a little tiny, like a little kid, like Bat Dance?
And I remember the one where it was him. Party Man was him with like half Joker face paint on, right? Or was that Bat Dance too? I don't know.
That might have been Bat. Maybe I'm thinking about Party Man. Maybe I'm thinking.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Like again, back to the Tim Burton thing of a cultural phenomenon. Like again, like I understand that I'm a child, but you know what I mean. In '89, I'm 6 years old, and it was though like, and now we take it for granted. Fucking the Avengers are everywhere, Spider-Man's everywhere, you know, whatever, it's all everywhere. But like at the time for '89 Batman, like what a fucking juggernaut. Where not only am I eating Batman cereal, playing with Batman toys, watching the Batman movie, then you turn on MTV and Prince is there dressed as fucking Joker, Vicky Vale, I mean, like using audio samples from the movie lines in the thing.
Kevin, you're autobotted again, by the way. I'm a robot. So yeah, you guys have no idea how big this was, because you also have to remember leading up to this, there was nothing. We had Superman, which like started to wane off by about the third one. You were like, this is weird. Then there was just a drought. All we had was like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, which to be fair were amazing, but they were a different breed. They weren't comic book movies. When they started ramping up the PR machine and the marketing machine for Batman, it was like, I remember being in Italy. This was like the year before this movie came out. I remember going to Italy and I had a magazine that was like, I think it was like an Entertainment Weekly or something like that, or a Fangoria, I don't know. And it was all Batman, and I read it like 5 times all the way through. I bought the album. When Prince was on and he was dressed, anyone dressed as a bat on TV, I was like, shut the fuck up. I have to watch this. Mom, we talked about this. This is the only thing I can live for. And I had the cups. I had the toys. I had I had the novelization that was like, or the graphic novelization that like basically just told you the entire movie that I'm pretty sure came out before the movie, but it doesn't matter.
They weren't the best cups though. The best Batman cups, future spoilers come. Obviously.
Batman Returns.
Yes.
McDonald's.
No. Batman Forever.
Batman Forever.
Yeah.
I mean,
fantastic.
Batman Returns had the Penguin and Catwoman cups.
No, those were the little short cups, right?
Yeah.
No good. You want the tall cups?
No good.
God, I never thought about the fact that the Superman movies came out like a lot before this. Like,
78
was the first
must have dropped. Look,
so
this movie,
87 was Quest for Peace.
Yeah, and that was not
which
very
is
well.
The last
78
one.
was the first.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, personally, I grew up with it, so I loved it.
Nuclear Man, destroy Superman.
It had a box office of $411.6 million against a budget of $35 million. Excellent. Now that budget sounded so low to me because we're so used to like, you know, hundreds of millions or whatever for these modern movies. But going back, I was like, 35, that doesn't sound like a lot. And Tim Burton, I compared it to his previous ones. Pee-wee's Big Adventure budget was only $7 million. Wow. And then the year before Batman, he did Beetlejuice for 15.
Yeah, they weren't big. I mean, these weren't huge movies. Like they had, I mean, Beetlejuice, you have to remember, had I think Gina Davis was probably the biggest star, and then maybe Winona Ryder was getting big at that point. But these weren't like mega box office budget like blockbusters. They were weird. I mean, if you go back and look at Beetlejuice, how do you market that movie at that point in time? What is it about? Okay, well,
Mr. Mom's Michael Keaton is here.
Yeah, okay, the guy Michael Keaton, who was pretty famous from at this point, is dead. He plays a demon, and the whole thing it's just weird. So there was I read another piece of trivia that said that they were waiting to actually officially onboard Tim Burton until Beetlejuice came out and did well, because they were like, we don't know what this movie is, and we need this to open strong. Otherwise, we're getting someone else for this. Call up Dick Donner. Where's Dick Donner? We need him for Batman.
Oh, man, I did not know that the soundtrack was going to pop off so hard. Like I don't really remember this movie at all. Again, this is a movie that was played when I was a fucking infant, because I was born in '88, and so I just didn't really know much about this movie. I know Jack Nicholson was in it. That's about it. And I know do you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Like, that's the only thing I know about this movie. So to hear the soundtrack pop the hell off, and to see Michael Keaton sort of create this role that then it feels like a bunch of actors after that just kind of emulated and we wanted to be the Michael Keaton Batman. It's just so cool, dude.
So an interesting thing there is that, he Michael Keaton, who calls himself a logic freak, was concerned that Batman's secret identity would in reality be fairly easy to uncover, and discussed ideas with Tim Burton to better disguise the character, including the use of contact lenses. Ultimately, Keaton decided to perform Batman's voice at a lower register than when he was portraying Bruce Wayne. This technique became a staple of future portrayals of Batman. That's pretty cool.
And shout out to the movie too, like something I didn't remember as well, right? Because I've seen obviously Batman '89 a bunch, but I don't remember the last time I sat down with a theatrical cut and watched it. It's not something I turned on TV, and it was on we stuck around for a while. The whole thing with Vicky Vale, I think they do a good job of her in the Batmobile trying to look. He shines the light, and then once they're in the Bat Cave, the way he plays with the light and he hates it, and he does this and he's like constantly moving and stuff. It's I know not how probably you guys think of Batman, obviously, as we've seen him as this like fucking barrel-chested, beat the shit out of everybody, but I kind of like this really like awkward, not shy, but like awkward angles Batman trying to move around and be stiff, and then when he gets into the shadows and it's just his eyes and stuff.
Yeah, for me, I think Batman itself in this is the most Batman than we've ever seen. Like, once he's Batman, you really get the point of like, that's him, that's the darkness in him, and like they do such a good job of having him literally do what Batman should do, which is
fumble around everywhere and fall into everything.
Hey man,
really? Well, like I'm talking more like he hides in the shadows. He comes from the ceiling. Like, there's never a moment where we just cut over and he's just standing there. It's that's a lot of the criticism that I'll have later. Of course, I love the Nolan movies, but a lot of the criticisms I have of those movies are that you never really feel like he does anything that's super Batman, say for like one or two moments. But in this, you have all these unbelievably, like, in my opinion, iconic shots of him like coming down slowly in the background, or like the shot that I love the most out of any Batman movie is where, she throws the water in Joker's face and he's screaming, I'm melting. And then he goes, boo. And as he does that, you hear just the skylight from above just shatter. And we look up and it's just him coming down, drops down right in front of him. And like,
no wires.
No, there was a wire. But the thing is that the wire was.
I'm joking. It's like every wire was present.
I think it was on purpose, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
It was like on his suit.
It was on it. Yeah,
he was actually using that wire to come down.
A controlled descent, as we call it.
There's that moment where he comes down and pops it, and then kicks the gun out of Napier's hand. It's just all these things.
Really? Like, see, I didn't know that. I thought they were just like, I thought it was Star Wars type. Like, you could see the fucking wire work.
This was the inception of the grappling hook. It wasn't like, up until this point in the comics, and Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, he always used the batarang with a string to like get places. This was the first time they conceived of having a gun that would shoot something out, and then he puts it on his belt and it just elevates him, which is why you see him kind of lower down all that stuff, that he's actually lowering himself down with that device. And then of course we get the payoff for it where he's like, how much do you weigh? She goes 108, and then it sticks, and he's like, you weigh a little bit more than 108. I love all those moments where he breaks character just a little bit and lets Michael Keaton come through. It's so good.
Well, see, that's my thing about it, where you're talking, Batman psychology or whatever. And I think this movie does a really good job of showing a Bruce Wayne slash Batman, a Bruce Wayne slash Batman that is tortured, like that isn't normal, but isn't the Batman I know from the comics that is Batman is the real thing. The mask is Bruce Wayne. Like, I do feel he's this conflicted, tortured, wrapped between it. And when he puts on the mask and he is Batman, but like when his Bruce Wayne is still very human in the way, like, I want my Clark Kent to be very human. He is, like, the whole thing of him not being able just to say I'm Batman to Vicky is a weird scene unto itself, but his portrayal of the struggle with it and stuff is something you don't see Batman do. We don't see a Batman who's unsure of himself anymore, I feel like.
Yeah, well, you also get that I think Tim Burton's approach to this was to sort of really show the flip, like they're basically two different sides of the same coin between him and the Joker, right? They're just kind of like both a little fucked up because of the stuff they've done, and this is just how he deals with his fucked upness versus the Joker just going. It was that last little bit of him that had to die before he was just totally free to do whatever he wanted, become Joker, and just become a total homicidal maniac. And I never caught that when I was a kid because I was like, oh, Batman's a good guy, but in this, Batman is like, he's a little twisted. And this whole movie is a little messed up.
No future spoilers. Way more twisted next episode.
I don't know, dude. When you watch this, that you go back and watch this back, there's a moment where the Batmobile just comes in, and then he just drops the bomb right between someone's leg and just blows the dude's dick off as the whole building crumbles around him. And I never caught that when I was a kid.
No, and that's the thing. Not even blows. He kills a bunch of dudes and doesn't blow down a building, blows up a chemical plant. There is a cloud of noxious, poisonous chemicals now in Gotham, wafting all over the city.
I like to think of it in my brain when I was a kid. I was like, oh, they ran out. They saw it pop down and they ran out of the thing, and they're totally fine.
No. Box office of $411.6 million, which makes this the highest grossing Warner Brothers movie of the 1980s. The previous decade, the highest grossing movie for Warner Brothers was Superman from 1978.
Superman.
So superheroes making a lot of money there. And awards. This is the first Batman movie to win an Academy Award for Best Art Direction and Set Direction. It was later followed by Dark Knight in 2008.
The set direction is, I think, some of the best we'll see.
It's really good.
Some of the shots are like, it looks dated, obviously, because it's like a matte painting a lot of times. But damn, it looks cool. Like the stuff that they do with some of the wide shots of the city, where like it shows Arkham as this like really tall, old, decrepit, but connected buildings on buildings. Now, I do have some criticisms with like, why is there just a giant castle at the end that's like
the cathedral?
But why is it like
very tall,
broke down and like?
Wait, the one where they
doesn't go to church anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's like 80 stories tall.
Yeah, because it's an old Gothic church. I mean, we have those here. They're not that tall, but obviously it's exaggerated for dramatic purposes because it's a Batman movie.
Everything about
what I like is that it's like
exaggerated,
it's no one goes in there anymore because it's supposed to like be sort of a little emblematic or thematic of like Gotham's lost its like its goodness, its spirituality, and all these things. So when he goes into the church, it's just decrepit and disgusting.
But what happens when he goes in the church? Batman goes in and immediately fucking trips and falls and knocks over all the things.
Now, he just crashed a fucking plane. He just crashed a fucking plane outside, Tim. Maybe you should give him that.
He's concussed. He's concussed.
I love it because you can see like the cowls is all fucked up and like scraped up and he's bleeding and he walks in and he just like he loses it for a second and then he has to climb all the way up the thing.
I don't know, man. This movie reminds me of Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire so much, where I'm like, there's so much iconic stuff.
You're outrageous.
So much iconic moments and so many cool things, but it's just like, I did not like this movie at all.
Wow.
How can you not like it?
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just everything I like about Bruce Wayne or Batman. It's kind of like not here. Like Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne is just, I'm questioning everything he does more than I'm kind of enjoying it. Like when they're outside of the building and Joker is like finally coming with all the mimes and stuff. What is Michael Keaton doing? Just kind of standing there looking around.
He's freaked out because he was like, I killed this guy. I dropped this guy into a vat and he's back and I don't know what the fuck's going on right now.
I love the idea though. To me though, I read that as I have a bad guy. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I have a bad guy I can fight. Just real quick back to the set design. I love all the matte painting work. Super awesome stuff. I forgot what setting they're in, but just what they did in terms of set design and to give it this super old Gothic look, it looks great. Like I love all the set design here.
Well, they have
what's up?
Oh, I was going to say they have those wonderful moments where in everyone's setting there is a bit of the city that comes through it, right? So it's that brutalistic sort of deco, like Art Deco meets Gothic design. And like Vicky Vale's house, for instance, is this beautiful apartment that's plush, but it has this steel pylon, this pillar that's riveted coming through the heart of it. And I love that they designed that, like the city, no matter where you're at, the city gets in somehow. And like Grissom's office, for instance, is like, it's beautiful, but then outside is this fucking horrible view of this shitty city with like smog and all the stuff behind it. And then they've got those unbelievable, like, I'm assuming this all was set stuff, but like those big like nuts and bolts and all these like big, gigantic, over exaggerated moments in every room. It just makes you feel like the city is like, is just kind of coming in on you at all times.
I gotta say to go with Tim's point, there's a lot of doofy old stuff, but I just chalk that up as it being a doofy old movie.
It's an 89 movie.
yeah, there are a lot of like silly moments, and of course, it's really funny and like weird looking for me to see Batman. It looks like sometimes he looks like a child in a big giant head cowl.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
There are moments when he's running where you're like, just because
the
his body is just a
proportions,
normal size. But
the proportions just look really weird. Like,
I don't think.
But here's the
short.
thing.
I think he's like 5'10". But
Here's the thing.
like,
just make the cowl smaller, because I loved the way his body looked I love the way his arms looked and his chest looked inside of that suit. It looks really, really cool. But then the cowl's is gigantic, and it looks like a little kid running around in like a Batman costume.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
you'll see addressed in Returns. Like Returns has a more slender cowl where they went from it. And even in this one, I feel like there's multiple cows, obviously, for stunt work or what you're doing. But in particular here, there's a few shots of this cow where it's like, is this like early in production? Because I'm with you, where it's like there's like an inch and a half of rubber around him, where there isn't elsewhere. So he does look all sunken back and weird.
It's late in production, and he has dropped 90% of his body weight from sweat. Because a big concern that they had was, I think this was one of the movies where, maybe it was the next one, but like they just forgot to put in a place where he could pee. And this was like a rubber suit, so he was sweating constantly. And whenever he had to pee, they had to take the whole thing off of him because I think it just zipped up in the back. Which I love those moments where he like falls and you can see the back of the suit, because the rubber chest is just right here, and then there's like a little bit of rubber here, and then the rest of it's like open, kind of like spandexy or like a nylon-y material, which I thought was cool. I was like, how does he get in that suit so fast? It's cool.
He was saying that he couldn't hear at all with it because it's obviously guarding his ears, and that like drastically changed the performance and actually helped him find the Batman voice and character, because like he couldn't really hear even how he was sounding. And in addition to that, like it felt super claustrophobic, so he was like, it was a lot easier to kind of like get in this dark headspace because he was physically in it, which is pretty cool.
I think he does, in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of criticisms you can have. Obviously, his physicality is lacking, and the fact that he can't turn his head is obviously made a joke in The Dark Knight, which is weird that they didn't fix that in Batman Begins, but that's future spoilers. But I think he does it probably best of the transition between his normal voice and the Batman voice. Because I just think he's so, especially in that moment in the cave with Vicky, where she's like, "You're not exactly a normal guy," and he's like, "It's not exactly a normal world out there, is it?" And he has that lower register of the Keaton. His voice is just so good in that. Whereas I feel like Bale never quite got there, because Bale's voice is always just a little too snarly. But I love that.
Let's get to the plot.
Plot.
I mean, what do you want, Greg? What do you want me to do? Like, you know,
I thought you had a good plot song last week. Yeah, for Andy, you know what I mean? It's just like you hate to see people rely on the same things they've done for years and years and years.
Did I have a good plot song last week?
I don't know. Didn't you?
No. Plot time.
There you go.
That's good.
Now I'm in the mood.
You come up here, you're drinking your protein tumbler, and you're having, you lift some weights. You know what I mean, Andy? You hate to see it. Welcome to Gotham City circa 1989, ladies and gentlemen. We begin on the disgusting, disturbing, destroyed streets of Gotham as this shitty family leaves the Monarch Theater trying to hail a cab, and this pussy father can't even get in the cab, right? Because Gotham, it's a town. It's a town. You know what I mean, Kevin?
Yeah.
You move fast.
Gotham City would eat you alive, Kevin.
Yeah,
you're too polite. You know what I mean? But this dad comes out with his wife and kid, and they try to get in the cab. And the first thing Jen says is, "But the Waynes are so rich. Why would they need a cab?" And I'm like, "Oh, no. This isn't starting the way you think it is." And sure as shit, this family can't get a cab. They've got out the map. He's like, "Put the map away. We'll look like tourists because you are tourists, Dad."
I thought it was the Waynes too.
Exactly.
Well, you're supposed to. That's the whole concept.
They trick you.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie a whole bunch of times, but like I guess like I haven't seen the start in 15 years because I did not remember this. I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Oh,
sure, 100%. I get that. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, they're like, "All right, let's go here. We'll cut down here. We'll cut through this alley. Let's cut through this fucking decrepit alley. No light to be found, but I'll take my family down there." And they cut down that way, and sure as shit, they start getting followed. And it's like, what's going? They pass the guy, and the guy's like, "Give me $1, mister. Don't you have $1, mister?"
Give me $1.
And that guy comes up. He wants to come. Exactly. Great performance. But as they go, eventually, this guy pops up. He holds them up. He's like, "Give me that fucking money." You know what I mean? Oh, God. And they all start fucking screaming, and then they get the money, and they
What's the deal with that hooker, though?
Yeah, Jen was immediately like, "Did that hooker just proposition a child?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Gotham City's a fucked up place."
So what's weird about that is I got a fact there. The hooker in the opening scene was originally meant to be 14. She was also going to be shown chatting casually with a couple of cops to show how corrupt the Gotham police are. But instead of doing that, they just had her creep on a 14-year-old boy. It was weird. It was a weird choice for sure.
But here's the thing.
I feel like that's.
He looked like he was 8.
Yeah.
But you've been a 14-year-old boy in the big city before. You get propositioned by a hooker and you're in front of your parents. You're like, no way. I was raised in a Catholic school, miss. And you walk out. But then at night, you're like, you know what? I'm going to go get some Twix bars. And you leave and you go find that hooker and you fucking give her your flower. You know what I mean?
Twix bars. That's what we said.
That's
You give her your
as
flower.
old as
I'm ready to
time.
be a man.
What is
I'll
wrong?
tell you
Twix
what,
bars.
I've had an adventure in Milwaukee, Wisconsin once or twice.
Oh,
Anyways.
no.
So
Oh,
these guys
no.
rob the family, right? And they fuck off to the top of a building to go look at all the shit they have. And they got a bunch of money. Like, oh, we got some money. Blah, blah, blah. And then the other guy's like, man, you kind of crossed the line there. And
You
he's
should
like,
have pointed the gun at that kid, man. You
Yeah.
should have pointed the gun. Shut up.
You want your
There
cut
is
of the
no
money or
bat.
not? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly. I heard there's something worse than the cops out there. It's the Batman. He sucks people dry and he just fucking sucks them dry and tosses them off buildings.
Wow.
That's the rumor that's going around the Gotham underworld right now. That you're finding guys devoid of fluids on the ground, dead.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Did you watch the same film? Because that's what happened.
I guess I did, but it was a little less sexual.
Well, what? No, he's just sucked them dry. It's, you know what I mean?
It was the
Yeah,
hand motion he
clearly.
made, though.
Fluids.
Oh, I mean, like, think about that, though. You're a vampire, Tim.
Mhm.
You want to bite somebody's neck. You're going to come in like this, right? Right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that. Do you want the neck to be fucking stone cold, or do you sit there and do you get the neck
You
the
warm
way
it
you
up.
want
Oh,
it, nice
Jesus.
and warm?
You gotta warm it
know
up
what I
with
mean?
blood.
Don't ever jerk off your microphone again. No.
There it is.
No.
There it is.
Yeah,
Do
that's
it.
what you got to do, guys. That's
Do
what
it.
you got to do. Tim, next time we're around and there's no COVID, I'll warm your neck up for you.
Great.
Warm
Thank
the neck
you.
up.
I will, Daddy. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
Anyways,
This is
they're
already off to a banging start.
this is what people want. They're talking about being crooks and junkies or whatever. They look like terrible. Good makeup here. They look terrible. You know what I mean? Like in the way they look like bad people.
Yeah, they look like they're meth heads.
They've lived some lives. But
very Tim
behind them,
Burton.
like you said, whoosh, you see Batman come down, right? You see the bat drop behind them.
I want to give a shout out to the production design here. There's always smoke somewhere in Gotham.
Everywhere. Shout out to
And
the
I
80s, man.
fucking Love it. There's a moment later in the Batcave, and I think it's a matte painting. Who the hell knows? But you can see the Batmobile behind him, and the whole ground is just covered by like a foggy smoke. Everything's smoky. It's so noir. It's great.
It's steam, right? It's supposed to be steam. Like
It's like New York steam from the steam
Yeah.
vents, but they just
Yeah.
go like literally the next scene where there's cops everywhere, there's steam everywhere too. I'd be like, I think we have a problem here. I think a pipe
something's
burst or
leaking that shouldn't
something's
be. You know.
happening. Yeah.
So they're there counting their money or whatever, and eventually Batman shows up. Like, oh my god, they look like fucking Batman is here, whatever. Batman drops down the first. This is our introduction to Batman as a crime fighter. The first thing is he gets shot a bunch of times and falls down. And they're like, oh man, we can't believe we fucking killed this Batman. And they walk over there, and of course Batman's not dead, so he pops up. He's like, wow, and he does like some kicks or shit, and the trips
Kicks
people
a
around.
dude through the door. And then we see that guy later, and he's like, "Oh, I'm never gonna live through this.
I'm gonna die.
Ribs are just crushed.
Collapse my spleen." By the way, let's stop for a second though. I think about this. He actually uses his armor a bunch of times in this movie, which I love. He gets shot twice, and every single time it stops the bullets, which I think is awesome. And
including the weird little tray.
that
Stop the
was
bullet.
that is always a weird moment. I'm like, how did you know he's going to have like a 10 caliber bullet that would barely be stopped by? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I always thought this was so cool because I was like, oh, the armor is functional. It's not just there to show like a stormtrooper armor. He actually takes bullets in this thing and then just pops right back up because it's a thick armor.
So yeah, he, like you said, beats the shit out of the one dude. Then the other dude, he walks him to the edge like he's gonna throw him over, and he's like, "Don't kill me! Don't kill me! Don't kill me!"
No. The guy runs away, and we get that great shot of the batarang where he clicks it out and throws it and grabs the guy's legs and then pulls him to him. Which again, this is why I stand by. Again, not all the action is what it is in this, Tim, and I totally understand. You watching this movie back, you were like, "This shit's slow as fuck and doesn't make any sense." But when you were a kid, watching him take the batarang out, like flick it out, first off, you're like, "That was dope." That it flicks out because, of course, Greg, he has to store it on his utility belt, which we see later him like doing hit a little button and the thing kind of comes to him. But he throws it on the guy's leg and uses that and then pulls him to it. That's terrifying. It's awesome. It's so Batman.
So yeah, he brings him to the ledge. Don't kill me. I'm not gonna kill you. You're gonna do me a favor. I need you to tell everybody that I'm out here and I'm sucking people dry. I'm warming up neck.
I need you to tell your friends about me before I do that.
Who are you?
My neck's so warm.
The criminal, of course, sets him up for the iconic line of "Who are you?" and what's he say? Nick,
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. And
Apparently, he was
that's
supposed to say, "I am the Knight."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I was
Couldn't
wrong.
remember
Last week when we talked about Robert Pattinson in the trailer of the Batman, he said, "I am vengeance." I thought that's what what they wrote for Keaton. I was wrong about that. Apparently, he was supposed to say "I am the night," but I guess Keaton just Tim. Maybe you have that fact, but I think he just improvised on Batman.
Yeah, he
and
did.
everyone's like, "That's great."
They kept going, Keaton. It's I am the night, and he's like,
I got you.
What?
Here. No
I can't
worries.
hear
What?
right now.
I can't make it out. What are you
They just have
saying?
cue cards. They have cue cards. I am.
Yeah.
Someone's like pointing off.
Yeah.
I am the night.
I am the night.
I am Batman is so much
I
better
like
for
Batman.
this.
I like
The thing I
idea-
read is that it wasn't improv. It was just a mistake. Like he just said the wrong thing. Like it wasn't like an intentional thing.
It's even better. And the thing is this, like this movie, of course, 1980s, it's campy. It is very much their like Tim Burton's like vision of a comic book movie. But the fact that he did that, when he did that in the theaters, I was like, I was sold on this movie before I even walked in. And this scene has cemented this as my top, like probably 5 movies of all time. That's it.
I mean, dude, don't get me wrong. It's like I want to be clear. It's like if I was a kid watching this movie and this was the first time I'd ever seen Batman, in the same way when I saw Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, I was just like, fuck yes, this is so cool, so goddamn rad. It's just looking at it the context of we've had so many other takes on Batman.
Yeah. We've had
So
the
many of them
Nolan
that have
Batman,
been inspired
of
by
course.
this, obviously. But it's just, this is a lot campier than I expected it to be, given how dark it seems. Like when you look at like the posters and all that stuff and like everything that you're complimenting and the stuff that I even love with the matte painting and all of the production design and even the costume and all that stuff. It's like that I feel is at odds with the arguments I've always heard about the later 90s movies being so campy. And
No, just wait.
it's like, well,
Oh,
there.
just wait.
Because,
like that.
because this
Just
movie,
wait.
what this movie
But
has
that doesn't
in camp-
excuse this one. That's all
well,
I'm
no,
saying.
but what it has in camp, it also has an edge, right? And
Yeah.
that was what I loved about it, because it wasn't just the 1966 camp. It was, hey, we've got a measure of camp in this, but then also Joker's gonna fucking cook a guy alive and then straighten his tie. And when you're a kid, you're like, Jesus Christ, that was terrifying.
Yeah,
Or like,
terrifying.
there's fucked up shit that happens in this. All the stuff with Jerry Hall, where he's like, Alicia, is a work of art. She's like, what does he call her? He refers to her as like not a prototype, but like just a sketch, right? So she's just
she's a sketch
tries
right
to
now.
burn
She's a
Vicky
sketch right
Vale's
now.
face off. It's
Yeah.
just like when I like that Tim Burton style because he marries that camp with that brutality.
And I think the camp, to an extent, makes. And I mean, we're gonna argue, you were just arguing whatever here, but I think Joker and this interpretation of Joker plays into that, right? Where I think
Yeah.
the crazier and the music numbers and doing all the art and splashing paint on it and dancing around, I think could easily not work for many a Joker, but I think it works for Jack Nicholson. But I digress.
I guess my thing there though, Greg, is I see what you're saying. I just feel that like the Prince music and stuff doesn't feel like it was in service of the Joker character. It felt like it just had to be in the movie. And it's like, I feel like we're almost making excuses for it to, oh, well, it kind of works for this Joker. And it's like, yeah, but it could have worked a lot better if it just wasn't there. And
No,
we just got Jack Nicholson being fucking weird.
I don't know, I
Nobody
feel like-
defends the Prince music. The Prince music being in this, I think a lot of people
like
when
the
you
Prince
first watch it were like, it's weird. But I like the Prince music. But I'm
Yeah.
with Tim on this one, where when I watched it, I was like, it's weird that Prince is a real person in this, and they're listening to one of his songs in this like made up universe of Gotham City. But you know.
the fact that Jack Nicholson says Prince or what, like he calls him out by name.
Does he?
Does
I
he
don't remember
win?
that line.
I
don't
could have
think he
I could have
does that.
sworn he, like when he's calling out the music number, or maybe I'm just thinking of the subtitles.
No, I think he just said. I think he just said to the guys like, play the song. or
Oh
some sort of
shit! I
thing.
could have sworn he said it because I was like, man, is he about to pop up here? That's what I thought was about to happen.
That'd be- Ah!
There it is. Yeah. Anyways, I digress. Back to the
Instant
plot.
number one.
Batman leaves the guy cries off the rooftop. Batman disappears. From there, we jump to a rally for the mayor. It is led by Harvey Dent, of course, Billy D. fucking Williams as Harvey
Mhm.
Dent. Like, you want to talk about universe building here that sadly
Awesome.
never pays off.
I know.
Holy fucking
Let me
shit.
give you some fun stuff there, actually. So Don
Please.
Johnson, Dale Midkiff, and William Peterson were all considered for Harvey Dent. Billy D. Williams took the role with the expectation that he would be brought back to play Two-Face, and reportedly had a contract clause added reserving the role for him. During casting for Batman Forever, Warner Brothers decided they preferred Tommy Lee Jones and bought out Williams' contract.
Wow.
And then Williams later would voice the character in Lego Batman movie.
Dude,
Great.
I was
Awesome.
so confused when we are introduced to Eckhart, because I was thinking like, oh, they got him from the comics. I was like, no, Aaron Eckhart played Two-Face in
Yeah,
in the
This guy
movies.
who's clearly Harvey Bullock, but they're gonna
Yeah.
call him Eckhart.
Yeah, well,
whatever
their
they're
parents named Aaron Eckhart after this character.
Oh,
got
nice.
it.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Then
huge.
they saw they had
He was
they had an early
20 when they did it.
They had
They
an early
just
script.
renamed him.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
they just
It was
followed
a
it.
So
weird
yeah, we're
change
here
for
for the. We're here. It's Harvey Dent stumping for the mayor. The mayor talking about crime. They're going to do it. The 200th celebration's coming up. We'll get to that. There's a whole fucking subplot here. If you want just parallels to the fucking world we live in right now, where in the face of gang warfare, supervillains out there, the mayor's like, no, we're still doing this fucking celebration outside.
Right.
We are still going to bring businesses back. And it's like, oh, this all strikes really hard with the COVID shit. Wear your stupid fucking masks. Anyways, though. Harvey Dent, mayor, this is Gotham. It sucks, but we're going to make it better, and we're working on it, and we're going to have a great 200th celebration. From there, it's being filmed, obviously. We jump to, you said Jerry Hall. Why do I know that name?
Jerry Hall was, I think she dated Mick Jagger for a while. And she was a model. Okay. She was the blonde who plays Alicia, I believe.
I know that. Yeah, we're talking about Alicia right now or whatever. We jump from that, and it's Jack Nicholson's Jack Napier watching the presentation on the TV, and Alicia comes over and is like, "Hey, Jack, what's going on?" He's like, "This fucking guy doesn't know anything." And she's like, "You're gonna have to ice him." And she's like, "If I would have had to ice him, I would have had to ice him by now, rip his lungs out while he's in front of him, right?" Because like Grissom's. It's King Kong of this city. Nobody's got shit on him. This is all empty promises and bullshit. Don't worry about it. We're fine. Because she's worried, he's number 2 in this criminal empire. And of course, she's like, you should be worried for other reasons too, because they be fucking. And it turns out, of course, the longest time when I watched this as a kid, I thought it was that Jack Nicholson and her were fucking at his place, but it turns out no, they're fucking at Grissom's place. Yeah, this is Grissom's place. He's
riding the lightning, dude.
Jack, I don't think he's
ride the lightning. I got some facts for you on Jack here. The name of the Joker's alter ego, Jack Napier, was created by the filmmakers. In the comics, the Joker was never given a real name, and whatever real name he has is yet to be definitively revealed. The name Jack Napier is intended to be a play on the word jackanapes, which is a medieval English term for a foolish fellow who resembles an ape.
As well, all the time.
Yes, he does.
Jackanapes.
As well as a reference to Alan Napier, who played Alfred in the television show Batman in 1966. Oh. Robin Williams was offered the role of the Joker when Jack Nicholson hesitated. He had even accepted the role when producers approached Nicholson again and told him Williams would take the part if he didn't. Nicholson took the role and Williams was released. Williams resented being used as bait and not only refused to play the Riddler in Batman Forever, but also refused to be involved in any Warner Brothers production until the studio apologized.
That's baller.
Dude,
That's
Robin
the kind
Williams.
Of shit you can do when you're Robin Williams.
I was going to say that story, the story about how he didn't want the genie using the poster, right? But then they used it and he's like, fuck you, I won't do it anymore. Like, you want to talk about a guy who was ride or die. Robin Williams, he had his word and his word was bond. And if you broke it, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why it sucks that Cool Greg's dead to him for not renting his movie that one time.
Exactly. You got served.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we get the whole setup there for Jack and Alicia and Grissom too. From there, we go back to the crime scene where these all of Gotham PD and medical is out for these 2 junkies who got the shit beat off them by Batman. Right? Eckert's there, and who shows up? But Arliss shows up. Remember him?
Robert from HBO.
Yeah, Robert Wall,
I loved Arliss, man.
Yeah. So Knox shows up. He's a reporter for the Gotham Globe, right? Or is it Gazette? I forget. That doesn't matter. For the Gotham paper, he shows up and he's like, he's got his tape recorder too, and he's just like running around. He's like, Eckert, is this more Batman shit? What is this? This is like the 8th sighting in a while. And he's like, this isn't fucking Batman, dude. And at the same time, they roll where the junkies behind. He's like, that guy just like a bat almost killed me. Help. And he's like, oh
man, that's a bat. Kill me. But also right here. This whole sequence, Eckert has the worst ADR I've seen in a long time.
Again, Jen looked at me and was like, "Did they have to record this all later?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess you couldn't hear him through his fucking cigar the first time." It's noticeably bad.
It just sounded really bad.
There's a couple of production things that happen in this movie, not the least of which was that even last night I was like, God, this movie's so dark. It's so hard to see some of these scenes. I was like fiddling around with the contrast on my TV for a long time. I don't know what you guys watched it on, but I watched it on HBO Max, and it was not very good on my TV.
I got the 4K UHD, and it was not dark at all.
I saw an HBO, but I had it fine. I thought it looked good.
I finally turned on my TV. I turned on the sort of what's the word I'm looking like compression, the volume sort of stabilizer to where it brings the lows higher and the highs lower or whatever. Because when there are scenes of dialogue in this movie, they are so quiet, and then and then I had to raise my volume to like 45, and then action happens like down to 25. Like it was the audio mix was all over the place.
I don't remember it being like that. I think that's just HBO. I think they fucked up the audio mix on this because I watched it on Netflix like 2 months ago, and it was totally fine.
You watched it 2 months ago?
Yeah, I watch this movie like every 5-6 months.
I watched it on HBO Max on my TV. I didn't notice any issue with the brightness. I actually also just got a new speaker system, and that's thank God. Like I couldn't watch anything on Amazon without having
Amazon's the worst.
Yeah, the
They're
audio at
worst.
100%. Now I'm down to 50%. And I can
Somebody
bring
at Amazon
center
was
up.
like, it just has the worst hearing ever, and they're doing all of the
They're
mixes.
like,
for every
lower the
Amazon
talking.
movie.
I want to hear the explosions more.
Yeah.
Lower the talking.
You want that explosion to punch.
Yeah.
God damn it, Amazon.
So Knox is like, oh man, I got a fucking hot scoop here, and he's like, eh. And so then Eckert though sees Nicholson down at the end of an alleyway. He walks down there, and Jack's like, here's your fucking lunch or whatever, and tosses him a sandwich full of bread, and it's both bread slices, Andy, and then actual money. And he's like, oh, why don't you broadcast it? And he's like, nobody fucking cares that we're crooked. Nobody cares. Gotham's gone to hell. There is no justice. Fuck off. And they escalate a bit, and he's like, you're a piece of shit. And he does that. You're a piece of shit, Napier. And he's like, yeah, but you should shut the fuck up. Grissom's not going to be in charge forever. And he's like, what, you think he's going to put you in charge? And he says, what, you're an A number one nut boy.
Yeah, you're an A. But he says, but in the only line that he actually enunciates, it's this when he goes, you are an A number one nut boy. And I'm like, why with a hard T? Was he saying something?
That's one thing Tim Burton gave him. One thing Tim Burton gave him.
Give hard T.
Hard T. Let me go hard on the nut.
At that point, I want to see how long we can have the pregnant pause on the nut. At that point, Jack shoves Eckert. He falls into the wall. He pulls his gun, and Bob, Jack's right-hand man, pops up right there. And this is like such a dope scene, I think, of like blocking, where at no point is Jack Nicholson worried, or Jack Napier is he worried, nor does he move, right? Like Bob just, and Bob's just in literally as his right hand with the gun drawn
Bob.
too.
He's
I'm
like,
gonna
and
say
I love
right now, Bob
Bob's
MVP.
awesome.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Really fucking tragic death where Joker just shoots him in the street for almost no reason.
Yeah, it wasn't Bob's fault. It wasn't Bob's fault.
I love the lines here too, where he's like, "Think about the future." He's like, "You got to think about the future, right?" And that's echoed later. And I also want to give a shout out to the costume design here, where he's wearing very similar clothes to what he wears toward the end of the movie with the Joker, except he's in all black in this, and he's got that cool, the trench coat like pulled up, and he's just chilling. They're very, very well done.
So that's set that up. That's how we set that up. From there, I think we might get another thing of like, fucking, we're doing an anniversary and I don't care who stops me. All right, fuck off, Mary, you suck.
I think we go back to the paper now.
And then we go to the paper where Knox walks into the building and everybody's giving him shit about it, of this Batman shit he's chasing, that he wrote a Batman story and they buried it on the back page and yada, yada, yada. And he's walking around, everybody shitting on him. And then the editorial cartoonist hands him I got that thing you wanted, and he looks at it and it's Batman, but it's a bat in a suit with like briefcases. And who is the editorial cartoonist? Tim?
Bob Kane.
Kane,
but he actually wasn't the cartoonist. That was an actor. Bob Kane did the drawing, but we couldn't get him for that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was.
I thought that too, but if you look, I don't think that's not what Bob Kane looks like. I think
the trivia I saw just said that it was his drawing.
I thought it was.
He ended up doing. I think there was a scheduling snafu, and then he ended up doing a cameo. I think in Returns.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll find out next
which
week,
is funny because I was like, at first I was like, oh man, that's Bob Kane, that's so awesome. And then Knox turns around and goes, you fucking dick, or something like that. I'm like, oh wow, he just talked shit to Bob Kane.
But then he's having a bat. Oh, here we go. Hold on. But you're right. That doesn't look like the guy. Yeah.
God damn it. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble moving stuff around here.
It's all right, Kev. Don't worry about it. Knox continues to walk through the newsroom. Everything's bad until he sees a pair of legs on his desk. It's Kim Basinger, Vicky Vale.
Hello, legs.
Yes, he walks over there.
He actually says it.
Flirting with her or whatever. And I'll tell you what, this was a shocking revelation. I don't know if you remember this, Nick Scarpino, but years ago now, I went down to LA to shoot something. And I did rehearsals, and I came back to the hotel room, and I turned on the TV, and what was on but 89 Batman. And I started watching it for the first time, I think, as an adult. Like, I don't think I've seen 89 Batman since my teens. You know what I mean? And I would watch this thing, and I'm like, holy shit. Did Taylor Swift time travel and play this role, or did young Kim Basinger come forward in time and become Taylor Swift? Because she looks so much like Taylor Swift in some of these hairstyles and stuff.
They're very similar. I love Kim Basinger in this movie. I think she fucking nails Vicky Vale. I like the character. I like everything they put her in style-wise. I think it's great.
Man, I hated the Vicky Vale story so much. Everything with her and Knox feels like it's a distraction from the movie itself. It's just like, to me, is the problem of the pacing of all of this.
I enjoyed it. Of course, Knox walks over and is like, hey, what are you doing here? And she's like, hey, I'm Vicky Vale. And he's like, oh, you just did that thing for Time, right? And she's like, yeah, but I'm interested in bats. I like bats. And she's like, oh, you're here for the Batman story that I'm chasing. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, cool. This is Pulitzer Prize stuff. And she's like, yeah, it is. And so we're a dynamic duo now. We're going to find the Batman. We're going to do all this stuff. I'll show you around town. I'll continue to flirt with you, even though you're not interested in that way. But he doesn't really cross the line. So good for him. Great. From there, then we're off to Grissom's actual thing. And who is Jack Grissom? Nick Scarpino?
Jack Palance. Oh,
the late, great Jack Palance.
Just watched City Slickers last week.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Remember when he won that Oscar after City Slickers and did one-handed push-ups on the stage? And everybody
remember
like, he's forever, and then he died.
Remember when everyone gave him shit because they were like, "Wow, he said he crapped bigger than Billy Crystal on stage," and then people who were like, "Did you watch City Slickers?" Because that's like one of the best lines in the movie, and everyone's like, "Oh no, I guess I should shut the fuck up."
Man,
I don't remember that part of it.
Something that will just make you realize how old you actually are is that Jack Palance was born in 1919.
Oh my God.
Oh no, yeah. I think there's a piece of trivia where I guess Tim Burton and Jack Palance I guess Tim Burton was super intimidated by Jack Palance for obvious reasons because he had done like 100 movies by that. He was like, there's a piece of trivia I read where he was like, Palance was hard of hearing, and then when Tim Burton's like, hey, we got to get you up, he's like, listen, boy, I've done like over 100 films. How many have you done? Shut the fuck up, and like walked away. But I guess he cast him as Grissom because he was like, Jack Palance is the only person that can actually be Jack Nicholson's boss. Like there's no other actor on the planet that would be believable as
that's cool as hell.
Around. Yeah.
So yeah, was in later when he dies.
Oh, we're not there yet. We're not
Lose,
there yet.
baby. It's a little Lose.
Instead here, we're the setup of, hey, you know what? Well, Napier's there. He's in the number 2. Everybody's there. Napier's playing with his cards because he does his card tricks or whatever. And Jack Palance Grissom is like, listen, it's time. We're getting set up here. There's going to be a whole thing going now with the chemicals, Axis chemicals. Why it wasn't Ace, I don't remember. I know there's a line about that. There's history about that. Do you have that, Tim, in your?
I don't, but I thought that was weird too.
Why did he do this?
Okay, I think it was part of his speech, right? Where are we showing it right now? The Oscars of him doing push-ups on stage.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those things of like, I forget, but it was basically, I'm not that old. I'm not too old to play stuff. I think people were like, there was commentary that he was old. So yeah, there's people who are going to do this, but we got to stop them. How are we going to stop them? And he leaves the door open for Napier to be like, I think we should just go there, fuck the place up, get the paperwork, and get out, make it look like business espionage. And they're like, that's a great plan. I want you to lead it. And in the middle of this, by the way, Alicia had come through and made eyes. And she was like, hey, whatever. And to Jack Palance, but then she also made eyes at Jack Nicholson. And then he also saw, and Grissom saw it. On top of that, I should point out that when they roughed up non-Harvey Bullock Eckert, he was like, where are you sleeping at night? Or where are you laying your head at night?
Where have you been spending your nights?
Yeah, and so it's like the worst kept secret that he's fucking this girl, which is a dumb thing to do when you got a crime boss.
Not smart.
Yeah, and so they're like, great plan. We love your plan, Jack, and that's great. And then everybody leaves except Jack, and Grissom's like, listen, you are my number one guy. And he tells him, I need you to go do this. You need to go run this operation for me. You need to be there. He's like, fuck. And he tries to get out of it.
I hated the way he said that line.
Number one guy.
It was so like overdone. It was
classic,
so overdone.
Classic line.
Yeah, that's why he makes fun of it later. Where I don't know if that was written in the script. I think Nicholson just did it, and he was like, "I'm just gonna fucking do my Palance impression right now," and it worked. You are my number one guy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
he just fucking with him. Nicholson. Once Nicholson becomes Joker, I have to imagine Tim Burton was like, "You no longer need direction. Just do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Have fun out there."
Yeah.
So from there we go to Wayne Manor. It's a gala raising money, I think, for the 200th gala, right? It's never really drawn home, but they're doing a gala.
Yeah,
so everybody's
they're putting checks in their donation.
Yeah, they're drinking, they're rolling the dice, they're doing their things there.
Hey,
bada bing, oh my God, man. Hey, what are you gonna do?
Rolling the dice. Hey.
Vicky Vale and Knox show up. How they got an invite, nobody knows, nobody cares. They walk in though.
She got an invite by being cool, right?
Yeah, she's cool
like,
as ice.
It seemed she had the invite because he was like, there was a moment where they're at his desk and he's like, well, the mayor's gonna be here, and she's like, well, cool if you had invites, and she pulls them out.
Invite. She goes, here you go, I got him because I'm badass.
Nobody asked how she got that, huh?
Because she was like a famous photographer.
How do you get into Comic-Con parties? I'm always mystified that you get into Comic-Con parties, Greg, but apparently you're famous enough.
He knows Mike.
That's true. I know Mike. Yeah, go get Mike. So they get there and she immediately asks a random person, "Hey, do you know which one of these guys is Bruce Wayne?" He's like, "No, guess what though? It's Michael Keaton. It is Bruce Wayne." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is some great stuff that starts happening here with he's watching her and he signs the check and then he has a pen. He doesn't know what to do with it, and he sticks it in the planter and Alfred immediately grabs it, and then he takes a drink of champagne and he goes to put it on a hard surface and Alfred immediately grabs it. Like just fun stuff right there.
I really like his interpretation of Bruce. I think that like he kind
It's a
of
weird
plays
different
it.
one, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, he kind of plays it like this kind of fish out of water dude that you know.
He doesn't belong in either world.
Yeah, but can also be
weird.
randomly really spontaneous and like super like showing off his rich.
Yeah, we do get more of
Yeah.
that. We do get more of that on the first date, which I think is a really good way
Yeah.
to show kind of who he is, and also sort of the really nice relationship between he and Alfred, where it is this very nice family sort of back and forth they have.
Well, I like the flex later in the armory where he's like, I wonder where this came from. He goes, it's Japanese. How do you know that? Because I bought it in Japan.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Fucking
No, dude.
So cool.
My favorite
than
flex is and like reaction is when like he introduces himself and he's like, "Hey, I'm Knox. Can you give me a grant?"
Can I get a
And
grant?
later he's
Yeah,
like, and give him a grant. It's like,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
shit.
Knocks a grant.
So good, yeah. And it's also that like encyclopedia, a little bit of Batman thing where he's like, all right, yeah, and by the way, they need this in the front room. A woman named Mrs. Beverly or whatever needs this, and then can you get Knox a grant as they walk away?
Yeah.
I hope they did. But before all of that, the commissioner is rolling dice with the mayor, and Harvey Dent eventually rolls up, but Knox is there with his tape recorder being an asshole, asking all these questions about the Batman. Nobody wants to ask about the Batman, but they're also not straight up denying the Batman. But while all this is happening, a police officer walks over to Gordon, and he's like, oh, I forgot. I skipped this. Sorry. Once Grissom gave Jack the job and was like, all right, you need to take care of this. And he left. He immediately called the police door. He's like, get me Eckert. And then he was going to tell him it was a setup. You know what I mean? So now the police officer walks over to Commissioner Gordon. He's like, come with me, Commissioner. We got to talk. And he's like, hey, there's a thing going down at Access Chemical about Grissom's men. He's like, who's on it? Eckert. And he goes, what is it? Like, oh, dear God. Oh, my God. Or something like, why do you have this guy in the fucking payroll, Commissioner? Well, I guess everybody's crooked, you know?
No.
Anyways, so they run off. This is the scene we just talked about, where they're in the armory, Knox and Vicky looking through all this shit, making fun of the rich or whatever. Going through all this stuff. And he's king of the Wickerman. And then, Bruce comes up from behind. I bought it in Japan. He makes the introductions. They talk a little bit there. Alfred enters the scene. The commissioner just left. All right, that's great. No, the commissioner just left. Oh, okay. I need to go. I think this way would be a better way to go. Thank you very much. Totally. And then, the grant and all that stuff, and then he leaves, and Knox is like the rich, like they get to be this weird, they have the privilege of being this weird or whatever. Totally.
And it cuts back and you see all the cameras just filming.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was
I think
a
also
creepy
giving
thing
context
that
to
didn't-
how aloof Bruce can be, but like it's in their world, like whatever. He's just some rich, weird playboy. Weird.
See,
not the Christian Bale rich playboy weirdo of a million models in this. He's a weirdo who lives in this huge mansion and has all this weird shit, and we really don't know that much about, which is weird.
And obviously they don't know shit about him because she's like, I wonder what happened in that alleyway. And everyone's like, I don't know. And in every other world, like the death of Martha and Bruce and Thomas Wayne is like a huge deal.
Like a turning point.
So in this one, everything's just obscure. But I do want to shout out the fact that I think he has great chemistry with Kim Basinger. And I love this moment where he's like, he's like, oh, sorry, hi, Bruce Wayne. She goes, are you sure? Are you sure this time? And he's like, yeah, pretty sure.
This time I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, this time I'm sure.
So to your point, Nick, we get them looking at the mirror, but then we go through the mirror and see all these cameras in this one room. You're like, that's weird. But then we go to the Batcave and find out there's cameras everywhere, right? The reason Bruce is doing this is so he has intel on everything that's going on in Gotham a little bit. And eventually, he has the exact same shot that we had as the viewer of the commissioner talking to the police officer. That shit always drives me crazy.
I know. Get a fucking different shot. Can you not just put a camera up on
camera in there? You know what I mean?
My biggest pet peeve is when you're watching security footage and the shot cuts. There's an edit in the shot to like a closer shot. I'm like, you guys didn't even fucking try.
We hear the entire conversation of this thing's going on over at Access Chemicals. And I asked this before, Tim. Do you have anything on this? I'm sorry. I forget. There is a reason why. I remember there being some reason why they didn't call it Ace, but I can't remember what it was.
I tried to look into it. I didn't see anything.
Ace Hardware was like, you fucking better not. You know what I mean?
Because we're the place where the hardware folk. Wait,
we don't want our chemical business going down.
Ace is the place of the what's their slogan? I feel like Andy from The Office right now. Break me off a piece of that, kick it. I can't think of the Ace slogan. Oh my god!
Somebody will get a chat.
They have a jingle. Never heard it.
So yeah, okay, we already know it's popping off at the Axis Chemical. They're over there, whatever. So now we jump to Axis Chemical. Napier and his crew are going in. They're cutting through stuff on the outside. Eckert's bringing in the cops. He's like, all right. They're passing out flyers like on the spot too. Like, I don't know if this is how police work, SWAT work technically works, where you get there and there's a hard copy of who we're here to kill. But he's like basically killing too. And so then we cut back in. They open the vault or the little safe. Nothing's in there, and Napier and me like, we've been set up, boys. Like very fucking gangster. I love it. They leave, and immediately it's like, freeze, motherfucker! Ah, God! And there's like, and everybody's running around and chemicals, and like they're in shootouts with the cops, and they're just fucking these tanks full of acid and shit.
These cops, like such reckless abandon, just like we don't care where we are, we don't know what our surroundings are, but we're just gonna shoot everything that's goddamn place. And there's green liquid spilling out. There's green liquid spilling out.
They're wearing leather, guys. It's impenetrable.
This is a moment where it really shows this movie like how old it is, where it's like the action is so stiff and it's literally guys going, and just shooting without moving across the thing. But also it looked really cool. Like these pipes everywhere with the green liquid coming out, the leather outfits that they're wearing. I think it looks cool.
Yeah, I like the blocking in this. And again, it's an 89 movie. I mean, if you contrast this with like Batman ripping through the fucking floor in Batman v Superman, it's gonna feel very, very old and dated. But I like how all of these shots are composed, because to me, when you're looking at them, they do sort of feel like they jumped out of a comic cell. And I just also want to give a shout out to the lighting in this, which is there is not a soft light in this entire movie, save for maybe one or two moments with Vicky Vale in her apartment. Everything else is just a fucking hard, direct noir light with just a shit ton of backlight and just one fill. That's it. Everything is lit like darkly, and it's very, very cool.
So all this shit starts happening, and on top of that, now Gordon shows up. He walks in, he grabs Eckert's megaphone. He's like, "What the fuck? Who authorized this?" And he's like, "I want him alive." And then he goes to hand the megaphone back to Eckert, but Eckert's slinked away, right? Because he's like, "Oh, jig's up. I got to get out of Gotham City." From here, the shootout continues, but eventually, the one and only Cape Crusader Batman enters the picture, and he just starts fucking dudes up. The one guy shoots at him and misses, but he shoots his grappling hook into his shoulder, and then that guy falls over the side, and Batman holds him up. And this is another great iconic thing I think of: Gordon walking in, looking up, and seeing him, just going, "Oh my god!" Like, you know what I mean? Of like, the rumors are true. There's this fucking guy dressed as a bat, fucking people up right now. And so this continues for a while. We get that other thing that I think Kevin showed earlier, or maybe that was in pre-show or whatever, of Keaton doing like the hard fucking flex, knock into that dude's face, comes around. Jack Nicholson's on the run still. He gets an axe at one point and just starts fucking hacking into these things, and green liquid and acid is pouring out everywhere. It's fucking chaos in here, Tim.
Starts pulling levers and all that stuff, and
exactly.
Papers go everywhere, which I always thought was a good practical effect.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just going on. People are getting killed at both sides of the law. You know what I mean? Then Napier is running around and he sees Gordon. And he's like, "Oh, here we go." And he picks up his gun. He's like, he's going to kill Gordon. Batman drops in. He kicks the gun out of his hand or whatever, I think. Forget. It doesn't really matter, right? He grabs Nicholson. He's got him. He lifts him up or whatever. And this is when Bob down there. I'm sorry, what?
Once again,
I love.
You're back to being a robot.
You're back to being a robot again.
Nick, what did you say?
I love.
Damn it. Sorry, guys. I don't know why it's doing that automatically. I have it actually turned off.
I love Nicholson's response to him, because it's the first time he sees him. And he turns around as he's being lifted up. He goes, "Oh God!" Like it's such a great and genuine, like, what the fuck is happening to me right now? And then he composes himself as he gets put and then Keaton just puts him back down slowly and smiles.
Bob down there is like, "Drop him or I'll ice Gordon," because he's got the gun pointed at his head. So Batman,
and so he just puts him down.
Nicholson picks up his gun and turns around to shoot Batman, but Batman's already gone. He's like, "That's fucking weird." Then he sees Eckert and he's like, "Hey, Eckert!" And I forget what he says. What does he say?
Think about the future.
Yeah, Nick, you fucking know this movie. Like, I know.
Nick knows this movie, bro.
Just shoots his ass.
Shoots him fucking dead right there, right? And then Batman was going to let him go, and now he's like, not a fucking chance. So he comes back down, kicks the gun back out of his... he goes to shoot... I'm sorry. I'm confused. Jack turns and shoots at Batman, but he reflects it with his Wonder Woman bracelets, bounces it off a dial on like the fucking acid container, back into Jack's face, hits him. He's like, "Ah!" He goes over the side of the fucking thing, but he grabs on. He's over the giant vat of chemicals. Batman reaches down. Jack's face is shot through both cheeks. They grab his hand, but he just slides out of his hand and falls. Again, though, really great use of the shadow here, or even hanging over, they obscure like Batman's actual mouth so he doesn't look. He has that look of Batman. Anyways, I digress.
I would say that in this movie, Joker / Jack's biggest, most impressive talent is falling over the edge of stuff and not dying.
He really does have a
Because at the end of this movie, I'm like, how did this motherfucker do any of this?
Everyone knows how athletic he is. All right, everyone knows how athletic Jack Nicholson is. So it's pretty easy
such upper body string.
So he falls in the chemicals. Batman's up there, and then Gordon's like freeze, and then everybody starts moving in. And I love the thing where he turns to move, and there's a cop there, turns back and sees the shadow, and he does this little step back into frame, like he leaves frame and then comes back to the frame. This is though he repels out, gets out of there, all hell breaks loose.
Smoke first though,
Yeah,
and I love that because
so
he does that a bunch of times. He uses all the Batman tech, and he just pops it, and then we see it from Gordon's perspective, where he's like, "Don't fucking tell anyone about this. Like, don't let this get out at all because I do not know what to make about it." And he's saying that as the smoke's billowing around Batman, and you see him rise up out of it.
Yeah, it's dope. We get a cool shot of him on top of the building with the Axis sign, and then we then cut to, as you're talking about, don't let the news get out of it. We go back to the Gotham Gazette, and there it's Knox on the phone trying to get a statement about all this, and the official. I skipped it, of course. There's the Joker hand coming out of the
that great. Such a comic book moment where it just holds on it for just too long. Where like there's a hand, and then it's still there, Jim. It's still there, and you see the green, and then you're like, it's still there.
And it's also not really a human hand. I don't like. It
looks like it's like clay or something. No, not clay.
It looks like it looks. Yeah, it just looks like a sculpture of something.
So they had to that like
was it because it wasn't moving or anything. There was no like hands like doing anything. It was just like just a static like here's this thing that we made in the
what did you want
special
to do,
effects thing.
I know now why you cry.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's such a good scene.
Gotham the Gazette. Knox is on the phone. The official story is that Napier committed suicide. He's like, "Can I get that on the record?" They hang up on him, of course. Vicky Vale's there. She's got a map with all the stuff on it of like where the Batman sightings have been. Maybe he's got like a flight pattern. They're trying to crack this code. And Knox is like, "Well, we could try to crack it tonight over dinner." She's like, "I actually have a date with Bruce Wayne." And he's like, "Well, be careful, that guy. He's creepy or whatever."
Bro.
He kind of turns into a douchebag, huh?
Get fucked, idiot.
What, Knox?
Yeah,
I mean that one scene or the entire way through?
No, afterwards too, where he's like, he keeps calling her out, like, "Oh, what, you hanging out with the thing while I'm doing work?" And it's like, well,
he's jealous.
She kind of does. She kind of just gives up on the work. You know what I mean? And then she really gives up on the work.
Okay, so
she really. I'm not gonna call out Vicky Vale for being slightly unprofessional, but he is the story, and she decided to go on a date with him and then fall in love with him, and then probably in my brain,
she doesn't know he's Batman.
No, she has no idea.
No, but I mean, like didn't they go? Oh, I guess that's true. I guess
she went to the thing to get closer to the Batman. She doesn't understand that it's the same thing. She hasn't sacrificed her journalistic ethics. And you actually know what? Now that you make a good point, Kevin, I rescind my comments because she bails on Knox at the end because she is too close to the story. That's why she leaves the world of photojournalism at the Gazette behind. Great job, Kevin. That's a great point. You've done a great job making it.
What a journalist.
Anyways, though, they're at the date and they're at the manor and they're at the long table, and this is where you get some of that comedic stuff. I like a lot.
This table, it was lacking a lot of food, Greg. Food that they could have made from HelloFresh. Ladies and gentlemen, you can get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh lets you skip the trips to the grocery store and make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. Gia has been making me a ton of this. She made some pork chops recently, and man, they changed my life. HelloFresh offers convenient delivery right to your doorstep for easy home cooking with the family. HelloFresh offers so many delicious options every week to help you break out of your recipe rut and try new things. They deliver pre-portioned ingredients so you're not overbuying, which is a burden on the planet and your wallet. So help out the planet and your wallet. Keeping your fridge stocked by adding extra proteins or sides like garlic bread to your weekly order, that sounds like a fantastic idea. Why would you not want to do that? HelloFresh is committed to making fresh, delicious food available now more than ever and has taken extra steps to keep its employees and customers safe, including contactless delivery, tamper-proof packaging, and team members' wellness checks. You can go to HelloFresh.com/80morning and use code 80morning to get a total of $80 off your first month, including free shipping on your first box. Additional restrictions apply. Please visit HelloFresh.com for more details. That's HelloFresh.com/80morning. Next up, shout out to ExpressVPN. There are a ton of VPN providers out there. You've probably heard of a couple of them, and you may have even used a VPN before. But if you want to do some research here, you want to find out what's the best you're going to go with ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN doesn't log your data. Lots of really cheap or free VPNs make money by selling your data to ad companies. ExpressVPN, they're not about that. They developed a technology called Trusted Server that makes it impossible for their servers to log any of your info. Second, let's talk about some speed. This is the fastest you're going to get. The last thing that really sets ExpressVPN apart from other VPNs is how easy it is to use. Unlike other VPNs, you don't have to input or program anything. You just fire up the app, click one button to connect. It's so easy. Even your grandparents could use it. And hey, I don't know about you, but my grandparents, they weren't that smart. So that's a good selling point. Protect yourself with the VPN and trust that it's going to work out for you. Use the link expressvpn.com/morning today and get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/morning. Once again, visit expressvpn.com/morning to learn more. And finally, shout out to Upstart. As most of us have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy. Getting out, that could be hard, especially if your credit score isn't great. Thankfully, now there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows that you're more than just your credit score. And they offer smarter rates to help you pay off high-interest credit card debt. Upstart goes beyond the traditional credit score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter rate. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate. And it's just a soft pull, so it won't affect your credit score. The hard pull only happens if you accept your rate. One of my friends recently did this, and it totally simplified the money he owes, and now it's all in one place, and it's much easier to keep your head wrapped around that. See why Upstart is top ranked in their category with a 4.9 out of 5 rating on Trustpilot, and hurry over to upstart.com/morning to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes. That's upstart.com/morning. A package of double out.
All right, so now, we have the scene that doesn't have enough food on the table, but it's because they're doing courses, of course, Tim. Come on. And so, the soup's there, and is it good? What? The table's really long. It's a funny gag, right? Can I get the salt? Yeah, and he walks the salt down, and he goes all the way back and sits down. She's like, do you like this room? And he's like, yeah, I like it a lot. And he looks around and he's like, I think it's the first time I've ever been in this room.
I love that line. That's my favorite line in the whole movie. That's my favorite.
Such a good line.
That's my his delivery is perfect.
His delivery, yeah.
Well, there's lots of really.
I'll write down. Do you want me? I'll write down
right now. Write my favorite line down.
Hold on.
Right, because you know exactly what it is.
I know exactly what it is. This is my
second favorite line in this movie, and I love it because you can tell it's totally an improv by Keaton, where he's like, "Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever been in this room," which is such a silly and funny and charming thing to say. For obviously, he grew up in the house. He knows what the room is. Tim. They've got what you and I refer to as chemistry. You know, when we get out there and we're just doing our thing, Taco and Bell, love and sex stuff, boom, 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 everything's firing. That's what they've got in this scene.
Keaton and
I love that it cuts to them and they're having dinner with Alfred, where they're in the kitchen and he's telling stories. It's just very he's
servant quarters.
It's great. His servant quarters are bigger than my apartment.
There was Master Bruce with his pony, and me laid out across the back with a sprained ankle. And he goes to he's like, leave all this. I'll get it in the morning. I'm going to bed or whatever. He leaves, and she's like, he's lovely, and he's like, yeah, I love you. And they start talking about family a little bit, right? Of it, and he's like, yeah, he's the only family I have, right? He doesn't go into the hurt and the pain of seeing the Waynes gunned down in that alleyway, but he alludes to the fact that that's all there is for him. From there, we cut away to the shitty ass plastic surgeon, back alley plastic surgery, where there's the doctor.
His best. I don't know why you got to be mean.
You see what I have to work with.
Yeah,
exactly. It's Jack Nicholson, though, Jack Napier there, who was about to be reborn as the Joker. Also a great fucking Simpsons, play off of this one when Lisa gets braces. That's one of my favorite, Simpsons jokes they pull from this movie. But mirror, and he gets the mirror and he starts seeming to cry, but he's actually laughing. He smashes the mirror and he walks out, and it's the birth of a monster, right, Nick? We never see him. The light bulb's creepily swinging back and forth. We don't really know what we're about to get.
Yeah, he smashed it. He pops up and just slams the light, leaving it in darkness, and then you just hear there are moments that the sound design in this movie is so haunting and so good, and this is one of those where as he's walking up the steps laughing, it's echoes as Bruce Wayne and Vicky Vale are walking up the steps too. So we see again a lot of that, some of those cutting and some of that visual storytelling of they're both always headed in the same direction, which is up toward each other. And there's that duality of the Joker Batman relationship is there. But Nicholson's haunting laugh is just so good in this.
But then now it's Bruce and Vicky on the stairs. Vicky is drunk. Bruce isn't, and he makes a comment of if I have one drink, I'm flying. She's like, what's wrong with flying? But it's also, I saw you drink wine at the table. I specifically looked for this, so you should be fine, Mr. Wayne. But it doesn't seem like a taking advantage of situation. They both entered each other, and as she will tell you later, she loved him from the moment she saw him. But they start making out on the stairs, and they continue their way up.
He wasn't drinking to keep himself able to
he's Batman.
Go and
be
Batman,
I guess he has to go and be Batman.
Okay.
That was the whole point. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I saw him drink a glass of wine. You can go back and watch it.
You can drink a glass of wine and
look at this.
Batman.
I could Greg.
Like,
Kevin, I'll shotgun a LaCroix in the
back
back of this. I'll shotgun a LaCroix in the back of this episode, and I'll be fine. All right.
Greg, you need to get on the train to Busan.
I don't think you understand what a LaCroix is.
It's alcohol.
I'm drunk right now.
So then anyways, that they go upstairs, and then we go back to Grissom's office where he's got the very revealing cool robe or whatever, and he's he's getting ready to pour himself a drink. He's fucking futzing around his table.
Revealing?
This is what Nick was talking about earlier. It's a very flowy
Tim was
robe.
talking about that, wasn't he? Or
Somebody on this fucking show. One of the white people on this show was talking about it being a revealing robe, right, Andy?
I said that I liked the robe.
Kevin said it.
I said I liked it. I never said revealing. I said
Kevin's a big fan of robes that may or may not be showing his manhood to the entire public.
That's not what's going on. It just looks like a very comfortable robe, and
Did your dads ever wear a robe? Was that a thing going on like that?
No. My buddy Stu's dad used to wear a robe, and he also used to wear a robe with the leather slippers, which was kind of gross because he was like a little pasty and would always walk around and be like, I think we're always just this close to seeing it, you know?
The first time I saw a robe in person was just one that was supplied to us when we went to go to Disney World when I was like in middle school. I was like, oh, bro, like I've seen these in movies before. I didn't know that. I didn't know
my dad wore a robe pretty much exclusively and only a robe.
Oh. Number one crane operator, Greg Miller, he wore a robe, but he wore underwear underneath it too. But I remember the Christmas mornings, he'd be in there, like, with his cup of coffee while we all open presents. I digress.
I saw my dad's dick fucking flopping around daily.
God.
He had no shame.
God.
I appreciate
Nothing to be ashamed about either.
Throw it out there, baby.
Anyways, this Grissom confrontation. Let's make up some time. We're taking this is one of our classic interviews. The Grissom confrontation. He thinks it's Alicia. It's not, or Sugar Bumps. It's not. It's Jack Nicholson. It's Jack Napier there. I like this bit of acting from Jack Palance here, where he realizes the jig's up and he knows what's about to happen, but he's already got the drink and he just like kind of gives one of these, like, I'm gonna still drink this, right? And then finishes it and puts it down. Then he futzes for the gun, and Nicholson's like, don't even fucking bother. Like, why would you do this, right? And then he's got that great line of like, that you kill me over a woman, right? Like, it's like such a frivolous thing or whatever. Then he lights him up though, shoots him a bunch. He reveals himself as the Joker, by the way, too. And he makes the thing about it.
It's a great line where he's like, "Your life won't be worth spit," and he goes, He's like, "I've been dead once." It's liberating. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah,
and then you don't see it like depending on the cut you look at. Like mine, again, the transfer is really dark. I remember watching other cuts where you can sort of make out his face, but as he steps into the light and he says, like, takes the hat off and goes, "I'm Joker," and it's a perfect choreography, and then just wastes him, just empties the clip into him and has fun with it.
Yeah, the lighting is super great in this anyway. Like, I think even if it is super dark, you can get a little glimpse at this really like unsettling sort of face, and something's fucked up with him, and it's really good when he finally reveals it.
They said they had to find, Andy, you'll appreciate this, the right shade of white for the Joker makeup, because if it was too white when they lit it, it would just wash out his face. So it actually had to be like when they had to do like tests and screen tests to see which color off white would work well and read as white, but still let you see the dimensions in his face, because otherwise it would have just been floating lips in a sea of like white.
I would have loved if they never put human Jack Nicholson's skin makeup color on top of the Joker's face. It's the most uncomfortable thing I've ever seen.
I love it. As a kid, it broke my brain. I did not understand what was happening, and my mom tried to explain it so many times. They're like, no, his face is the white he has to put on, and I'm like, what?
They were saying that was extremely difficult for them to figure out makeup wise, of how to, when it would wash off, that it only washes off the one layer.
Yeah,
and all
I bet that's insane.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the Wayne Manor, Vicky Vale wakes up and Michael Keaton's hanging upside down like a bat from his thing, his little gravity boots there.
This is a weird one.
It's what people used to do.
In the 90s, those were very popular.
They were popular.
The hanging and stretching yourself thing.
Some
doctor somewhere was like, no, it's true. I've sat in one of those. They're very comfortable.
Cool.
They decompress your spine.
How come I haven't seen it in any other movie? It had to be in the Batman movie.
Well, because it fit in that one. You know what I mean?
Got it. Okay.
I'm going to order you one of these, and I'm going to have Gia put you in it. All right? That's what I'm going to do.
I would be as good of a Batman as Michael Keaton. That's a terrible idea.
Wow.
No, you could not.
I want people to quote that and send it to Michael Keaton and see what he says.
I already saw
that.
that. There's a quote here in the chat from Jay Wyndham that is, quote, "My grandparents were morons and my dad had a huge dick." Tim.
These are all facts, guys.
Anyways, she sees that. It's weird. We go back to Grissom's office. Joker's there. He sees the paper. It's covered in blood, but he sees the paper. And he's talking about Gotham. And he sees the paper and he's like, "Oh man, wait till they get a load of me." Great line, because he's pissed off Batman's already getting more headlines.
And he goes like this. He goes, whoop, whoop. And then just starts laughing.
Crazy. This guy's crazy.
Great.
I love him.
So great.
I really like the Joker being mad that Batman's getting more attention than him.
That is his whole motivation in this movie.
It's pretty fucking cool.
I mean, I
Batman's
feel like that's
got more press than he does.
I feel like that's a lot of Joker's motivation. Just period.
Yeah. From there, we're back to Wayne Manor. It's morning. Vicky Vale wakes up Bruce, who fell asleep on the couch. She's like, "Hey, come over to my house today. Let's look at my thing. Let's hang." And he's like, "Yes." And he's like, "Wait, no, I can't do it today." And she's like, "All right, what about tonight?" He's like, "I can't do it tonight either." And she's like, "All right." And he's like, "Actually, I'm going out of town for business. I will message you when I get back, and we can get this back on, get back to hooking up." You know what I mean? And she's like, "Cool." So she leaves, and she's like, on the way out, Alfred's walking out, and he's like, "All right, see you." And she's like, "Yeah, I'll see you guys when you get back from your big trip." And he's like, "We're not going anywhere. Haha, I'm an idiot." And he got right into it. Steps right into it. Can't even fucking, come on, bro code. You know what I mean?
Bro code. Yeah, exactly.
You know what a difficult day this is for him, Alfred. Come the fuck on. Anyways, Alfred then bounces out. Or no, she bounces out. We then bounce back to Jack Nicholson, the Joker, Jack Napier, who is now called a meeting of all the crime heads to be like, guess what? Grissom's given me full control. And this is where he is with the awkward, human face paint on and stuff. And he's like, I'm in control of this whole fucking shebang now. It's very creepy. And the other guy, what is it, like Ragatoli or something? I don't know. The other guy who Rigatoni himself. You can say that, not be offensive. I think if I say it, it's offensive. He's the other guy there, right? He's like, and what if we don't want to fall in line or whatever? And he's like, we shake hands and you leave. He's like, really? And he gets up and he goes over and he shakes his hand. It's like we talked about earlier. It's the joy buzzer that electrocutes him and burns him.
And by the way, do you know the sound effect in this? Do you remember the sound effect?
I do, and it sounded like something.
I think it's from Superman.
I thought so too. That's what I thought so too. Yeah, because the burning on his face looked very reminiscent of the Red Sun machine too from Superman 2.
Yeah, that might be where it was from. It's that weird like lasery sound effect.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, as we already said, he gets reduced to the smoldering body there, right? And he's basically like, everybody else want to say a fucking word. Nobody else wants to say a fucking word. He gets them out of there, and then he has this whole conversation with the body, right? Of like, basically he's having this, and the dead body's like telling him just to kill everybody, and he does the thing like he straightens his tie like you're talking about, and he's like, I forget, he's like, well,
you're a vicious son of a bitch, I'm glad you're dead.
Yeah, I'm glad you're dead. And he leaves like that. Yeah, but one, it's like, whoa, why is he so fucking crazy, right?
Tim. He's crazy.
Crazy Tim, right? From there, do we jump to Crime Alley, or am I missing a step?
Probably.
I'm missing it. Do it. No, all right. So from there we jump to Crime Alley, where Bruce is walking in and Vicky's shadowing him. She's been after him to figure out what the real story was. Right?
I'm
missing something.
Is there a scene where she goes to knock and is like, kind of like, hey, figure out what happened to him in his past?
No, that's after.
Not yet, because she comes and says, find out what happened in that alley. Like, she knows the alley part. So I think I'm just missing her seeing him or spotting him or whatever. I forget or whatever. So he goes down the alleyway, though. He's got the 2 roses. He puts them down. There's no like big memorial. There's no big thing. Vicky Vale shadows him after he leaves, immediately goes to the flowers, picks him back up. It's like, all right, clearly he put him there for a reason.
Yeah,
respect. Not, I understand he lied to you, that there's some stuff going on in your personal relationship. This looks like a one night stand kind of situation, but clearly, come on now. He put these down. You understand what this is. Everybody understands what, fucking roses on the ground mean. It means your parents got killed by a bad guy. I'll read between the lines now. Sorry. But then they walk back to the street where at City Hall, Knox is with his tape recorder once again. And he runs up to the stairs, right? And the guy comes out, and it's the big fat guy from the crime families. And he's like, yeah, Grissom has put me in charge of all of affairs. And Knox has some great Knox stuff, I think, here.
Yeah, he's like, that's a big favor.
I'm sure you have all the paper. Yeah, it's a huge favor. You must have been pretty close. I bet. Did you do time in elementary school or something? And I'm sure you have all the paperwork to back this up. And while all this is happening, like we were talking about earlier, the mimes start coming in and doing all this weird stuff. Bruce is there watching like this conversation about the shift in criminal power.
I love the way this scene progresses, because you see a mime and you're like, that's weird. And then you see another mime, you're like, uh-oh. And then you see a third mime, and you're with the guy skating down the thing, and then Bob pops out, and you're like, "Oh, shit's about to go down."
Yeah, Bob pops out with a camera. He starts taking some photos of people.
And then you don't
I agree.
even.
The mime
Vicky's
stuff
there. She's
was
taking
really
photos too.
cool.
And then he literally, the fifth or sixth mime you see, interrupts as he turns around, and it's Joker. And he's like, he did sign it. He reached up with his dead hand
and signed it with this pen. And
with
then
this pen.
what's the line here, Nick?
He's the pen is mighty. The pen.
No. Yeah, no. Before then, where he's like, "Hello, Vinny. It's your Uncle Bobo."
It's Uncle Bobo. Uncle Bobo.
It's time to pay the check or whatever. Fucking goddamn, what a fucking line and delivery.
No, I don't know if that would kill him or not, Kevin. But
I
like
assumed it's poison. It's poison.
Yeah.
It's got poison.
100%.
He threw that so fast with
Your Uncle Bingo. That's it. It's your Uncle Bingo.
That's the upper
so
body.
good.
Another upper body strength moment there for Joker, where he's able to just toss this fucking thing through a human body, and it's really impressive. Such fast velocity.
Yeah.
And
then of course all hell breaks loose. People start opening up on the cops with the Tommy guns, and this is where Bruce Wayne
everybody drops except everybody drops except Bruce Wayne, who stands there mystified. And it's interesting because
he gets shot in his arm, right?
He gets shot.
Yeah, but not. He gets shot through this giant fucking 80s coat.
Okay.
But it looks like I shot his arm.
That's what shoulder pads were for back in the 80s. In case you got a spare bullet, it would go right to the shoulder pad.
Exactly. New York, man. It was dangerous.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Gotham
Bruce Wayne, he's a thinker.
He is
always making sure he has armor.
Think it's man.
I don't like that Bob didn't have the matching outfits with all the other mimes. Like, because he's part of the crew.
No, but what Bob did,
he was on a different mission.
What I always thought was the best costume design in this entire movie is the purple leather bomber jackets with the Joker from the comic book.
It's so good.
Not Jack Nicholson, just that old school Joker in the Target. I'm like, I want one of these so bad.
Like, oh man, they go so hard with that later on, where like,
everyone's in it with the fleece collars.
Has it.
Yeah, it's weird branding.
I love it. It's cool.
The Grappler respects it. The Grappler respects that kind of branding. All right. Like we said, Bruce gets shot in the coat. He's mystified. He walks up to the glass, and Nicholson does the wave as they drive away. Vicky runs up to Bruce, and he's like, Bruce, and he kind of snaps out of it, and they look at each other, and then he just leaves. He goes back to the Batcave or the house. Alfred has a glass of water. He already knew he needs it. He sits down and starts running it. This is also when there's more of this Vicky Vale talk, and basically he's like, I can't focus on this right now.
Right.
And then as Alfred leaves, he's like, she's pretty great though, right? He's like, yes, sir. Yeah. Meanwhile, back at Joker HQ, Joker's there. We see the Smilex gas test photos there, and like the guy and like the military's decommissioned report that I thought was cool. That I did not. I did not catch as a kid. I did not catch that as a kid. Right.
That's cool.
And we go into his room where Bob brings in the photos from the day and gives them, and he's going through and he's like, oh, hold on, stop the presses, which is one of the things Prince pulls in one of the songs. Like, who is this? And he's like, Vicky Vale, she's a photographer at the Gotham Gazette or whatever. And he's like, oh, be still my heart. And he cuts it out and does this whole fucking, like, I love how they just let him cut it out in real time as he goes or whatever. And it's like fucking creepy as fuck.
Hard to stay in the lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was ad lib too. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's a great line. Yeah.
Then they kind of like pan out and it's a top shot that shows like there's a bunch of photos of things that he's cut out.
Photos.
And it's funny because like there are a lot of things that remind me of like that show like Jared Leto. I feel like took a lot of inspiration from this Joker.
Oh sure. I mean, everyone took a little inspiration from him because like he was the first Joker to play it like psychotic.
Right. Yeah. It's cool.
Like, no disrespect to Cesar Romero, but Cesar Romero was like caught up in the camp of it all. But this one, you're like, when he kills someone, you feel it, and you're like, you're always like this close away from being just iced by the Joker.
I really like the interpretation of the Joker in this, but I didn't like his minions because I felt like the minions were the pirates from the '66 movie, where it's just like
they're video game.
It's video game bad guys, but it's more than that though, because like all of the weird them walking around with the boombox and stuff, it's like without any type of Joker mind control or like some type of explanation of why they are so loyal to this guy, it just comes off as bizarre that he has this group, this whole gang of people following him and putting up with the same type of weird shenanigans that he's into.
Tim, you tell me right now, you don't like you become a supervillain, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think me and Cool Greg are gonna put on the same outfits?
Yeah,
like hang around with big boom boxes.
I mean, and again, a perfect example is we all follow Greg, and he does some crazy shit all the time.
I think it's also worth pointing out
while the business around it.
While these people would fall in line, there's a garbage strike going on in Gotham too. Just a heads up. So I mean, there's
No
a
one's
lot
got
of
work.
there's a lot of disparity. This is a future spoiler. Nobody's getting. Anyways,
we
then
got it. We got it.
now
Good point.
Tim didn't. He
Good
did
point.
that Tim face. Even though he's blurry as
Joker.
fuck, he did the Tim face.
Yeah,
where
I
he's
know.
like,
Move
I
your
know what you're
mic,
talking
Tim.
about.
Move your mic.
Anyways,
There it is. Nailed it.
I remember this for this interview because I don't remember this scene at all, and I think it maybe gets cut out of television or whatever. But we get after he cuts this out, we get a really quick jump to Axis Chemicals, where a dude there's this old
Did you ship a million of those?
there's a Doc Brown dude like with a clipboard as all this shit rolls by. Joker walks in, he's like, "Did you ship it? Yeah,
Ship a million more.
All right, fucking Jesus Christ, whatever, man."
Yeah,
Then we go to the news report, and this is where the news has been revealed that 2 models have died under suspicious circumstances, and we have their fucking dead faces and photos here for you to look at. They all have the Joker smile and stuff. Nobody knows why. They haven't ruled out drugs though. They then cut to the male news anchor who gets a breaking news thing about some other people dying. The female news anchor starts laughing and she can't control it and she falls back eventually. They run over there. Her face is up. And then the Joker interrupts the broadcast. And one of the cool things, I love him fucking doing this.
Joker.
Love that Joker. And yeah, he's talking about this guy used Brand X. Jack Nicholson just fucking eating scenery in this movie. I love it so fucking much. And yeah, he introduces this thing basically that there's Joker products out there for you that'll give you the award-winning smile you need, Gotham. And he's like, and the great news is you already got them. They're already on shelves. You probably already bought them. And he laughs maniacally. Bruce is watching this home. He's like, Alfred, we're going shopping. Yes, sir. And so they go out and they buy a bunch. We don't see this. They go out and buy a bunch of stuff and run tests when they come back, right? Then in the same breath here, we get the news anchors again. No, that's when it's revealed when Batman cracks the case, right? Because Batman gets the file on Napier and he's looking through it. And I love this. I didn't catch this as a kid either. Did you see this, Nick, or did you ever notice this? That when he gets the Napier file and opens it up and starts going, oh, he's good at chemistry and whatever else.
Aptitudes of chemistry.
The first 2 photos on the right are Jack Nicholson, Jack Napier. The photo on the left, which is like in the folder part, and Bruce never pulls out, is him as the young guy.
Oh, I never caught that. That's cool.
I never fucking caught that either until I was watching this one where I was like, oh my fucking God. Like if you would have just pulled that thing up, you would have known a little bit sooner. So yeah, it's this whole thing going on. The world's in chaos. Everybody's trying to figure it out. Vicky Vale is still like trying to hit up Bruce throughout this whole thing, and he's dodging calls and not answering them, and Alfred's getting more and more mad. Then
she gets
an
invitation.
not yet. Yeah, you're right. But like the news reporters show up and their faces are all like breaking out, and they don't have their they know something's going on, even though it's clearly they I guess not clear, but they are like, we don't know if it's food, alcohol, or beauty products. One clearly is beauty products, right? Then yeah, like you said, Bruce is still trying to crack it. I think he has cracked it. Alfred gets a call, or Alfred plays the messages upstairs, and it's a message from Vicky Vale saying, hey, tell Bruce I'll be late to the museum by like 10 minutes. And he's like, cool. He calls downstairs to Bruce and he's like, hey, Miss Vale's going to be late by 10 minutes to the museum. And he's like, great. And he goes, wait, I don't have a date with her at the museum. You're like, oh yeah, here we
shit's going down.
You know what I mean? And so then we go to the museum. And what?
Everyone froze on my screen. It's okay.
We're
back.
They go to the museum, or she goes to the museum. She gets seated upstairs, and then after chilling for a while,
Museum.
Flugenheim, exactly. I'm sure at some point here we had the mayor too being like, I'm throwing the fucking festival. I don't care. At some point, the box gets delivered to the thing with a crayon note, right, of like open immediately or something like that, imminent or something like that.
God,
she opens it up and like, put this on, right? And then this purple gas starts coming in and everybody starts dropping dead and putting their faces in their spaghettis and their cakes and whatnot.
Those 2 people just doing the into the food. Like what a late 80s 90s thing for a person's face to fall into food.
It's almost Sam Raimi. There's like one shot in this when I think it's later when he breaks Alicia's mask and we get that Sam Raimi quick zoom in on it just to kind of punctuate the action. But other than that, we managed to kind of stay away from that.
Then it's the doors to the Flugenheim open up and it's Joker and his crew. They hit the boombox, they play some Prince, and they trash all these paintings and start drawing on them.
This is the only time that I actually like the Prince integration because I just love this fucking song so much that I'm like, whatever. All hail the new king in town.
For
he gets
whatever
that one
reason,
where he stops him and he's like, I kind of like this one.
Yeah, the dark one. Yeah.
It's too much for me. Like a lot of this is just too much for me.
It's just
ridiculous. When he like knocks over the statues and stuff. I don't know.
And he does like he knocks it over.
Yeah,
good.
I don't know why, but like for whatever reason, this scene always freaked me out. Just like the idea that like all of the sudden someone could come and like murder everyone in this building and just destroy all this thing. As a kid, always was like, well, that's fucking terrifying that like people come and flip everything that quickly.
Yeah, I always liked it because when you're a kid, if you ever go to a museum, what's the number one thing they tell you? You can't touch the paintings, right? Don't touch the paintings. Don't get close to them. Don't touch them. And there's that one shot of the guy literally putting his handprints on it and then slapping it to the music that I was like, oh my god, this is so
maniacs.
They don't respect art at all. Eventually, they make their way up to the table where Vicky Vale is. Joker sits. Bob
lights the candles with a blowtorch.
Yeah, exactly. They bring all the stuff over. Bob's there. They put down the candles. The other guy puts on the boombox. Yeah, and he just blow torches the candles to light them. So fucking cool. And he's like, you can take that off now, I think. And we really get set up to, again, where the Joker is insanity, obviously personified, and doesn't need to make sense. But I appreciate this, again, take on him that he wants to be an artist, right? His idea is to be the first homicidal artist, right? Not to be a maniac, not to just kill to kill, but to maim, to make art, living art, which of course is nonsense and crazy, but you kind of get what he's driving at in terms of this and his weird little like pillbox hats and shit, like he's doing that. He, of course, explains this to Vicky. He wants her to photograph it. They go through her portfolio, crap. Then the Time magazine stuff that's all about the horrible things she saw. He brings over Alicia at some point, and she's like, Jack, I thought you said I could watch you improve the paintings. He's like, shut up. And I'm
in trouble now.
Yeah, exactly. She sits down. He explains that she's just a sketch, but this is what he's going for. She pulls off a mask, and she's got... She's not even that... She's not even that disfigured.
She was scarier with the mask was scary.
Yeah.
Like when she took it off, I was like, oh, I thought it was gonna be a lot like crazier.
Yeah. But clearly she's been burned, and like up until this point, Vicky Vale's kind of been playing along, like, okay, yeah, whatever you say. And this is what drives her back, and she's like, no, you're insane. And he's like, oh, fuck you, kind of thing. And he's like, let's start, and blah blah. And he leans into, take a whiff of my posy, and he sprays the acid. She ducks. It's dry ice is on the wall and smoke rises up. She grabs the water. She throws it in his face. He gets this, I'm melting. Oh, what a water. It's so great. And he goes, boo. And like you said, Nick, Batman fucking descends right down in front of them, grabs Vicky Vale, brings up his apparatus and puts it to his face like he's about to shoot Joker, and just goes, and shoots out both one tether that way, one tether that way. He rides it down out the front door. There's all these Joker cars, and Pop Joker has the iconic line. Oh yeah, because you see his guards trying to jump up and grab him as he goes by. Right. But then the iconic line of, where does he get those wonderful toys? Like so fucking good.
I love that line so much.
I love the line. I like, again, there's a little bit of sort of Cesar Romero Joker moments in here where the gadgets are just a little too specific for me.
Oh yeah.
And they work way too perfectly for the situation. It's not only this, but it's also the guy at the end with the knives feet jumping at him, and
what the fuck? Got the extender.
Stabs him in the dick.
We've never seen him have like different heads to the grappling hook until the end. Then it's got the 3-pronged head that digs in. You're like, okay, did you know you were gonna need that? What's going on?
Yeah, the idea of like this grappling hook, shing, shing, and if I'm any of the people, I'm like, oh, just grab him. Like it's taken long enough to do this thing, Like I don't know.
But I love that. I love that line. Where does he get those wonderful toys? Because there's like game respects game. There's a mutual respect where he's like, I gotta beat this guy. He's got all this cool shit. How do I get better? And I think Batman really does make the Joker better.
Oh, that's good. They run outside. He says, get in the car. She says, which one? At which point the Batmobile roars up and fucking looks awesome.
God, it looks so cool. This moment
slides
also
open.
Was like, I like paused and I was like, Paula, this is my Batmobile. And she's like, I don't care.
Dude, for real though. This Batmobile, I don't think you can get cooler than this design. Like, it's so fucking tight. I was reading like random stats about it. The car's 26 feet long.
That's ridiculous.
Like that is so cool. And then at some point they designed it and someone was like, hey, but how does he get in? There's no doors. And they're like, oh shit. They're like, oh wait, cockpit. Let's make it a fucking cockpit. I'm like, damn. Y'all did this shit right.
The best Batmobile song.
The best Batmobile, which is the coolest looking car.
Vroom, vroom. It's the Batmobile.
No, just vroom, vroom. That's it.
Okay,
just ends there.
It's this one, right? This outclasses 66 Batman by quite a bit.
I would very interested in this.
I would put the Batjet over the Batmobile.
The Batwing. is the
I'm sorry,
Batwing.
Andy. This is called the best Batmobile. You just sang the best
Greg.
Batmobile song. If you want to if you want to lobby for it to be the best Bat vehicle, you have to come up with a song for that too.
I mean, it's an automobile jet, right? Like,
Nope.
They're all jet powered.
They get you somewhere.
That is true. They are all jet powered.
Dude, the Batwing later though, no joke. I love the design of that.
Like that
It's
design,
so fucking cool looking.
It still holds up. Like, it still feels like such a cool modern take. Like, obviously, I think the Batmobile in here looks incredible, but it still harkens back to the older sort of 90s Batman sort of gadgets. But the Batwing still looks so goddamn good, man. It's crazy.
So now they're on the run. This is something again you don't see often with Batman in cinema as we go. Rather than fight these guys, he's just running from them. And I think it obviously is a hostage, or Kim basing your hair there, Vicky Vale is a hostage or whatever you want to say, an innocent, I guess, caught in the crossfire. His main thing is to protect her, but he still does it in interesting ways, I think, in terms of how you expect Batman to act now. But I digress. They drive through the streets of Gotham. All hell's breaking loose. They're taking crazy turns. They have to shoot a grappling hook around a pillar at one point so they can make the actual.
Because again, it's 26 fucking feet long. That thing can't corner for
So
shit.
funny.
Yeah, you got cops chasing them. You got Jokers chasing them. All this stuff's happening. They're running around. They're doing the thing. At one point, there's a traffic jam with a bulldozer. They all get out. They both get out of the car. They run down an alleyway. He goes, shields. And the fucking Batmobile goes into shield mode there. So cool. So nobody can fuck with it. Even though we'll find out, future spoilers, next movie, it's very easy to fuck with in shield mode.
Hey, man,
they run down the alleyway. I think they might have to fight somebody at some point or push past somebody. They duck down another alleyway. The Joker car, it has them dead to rights and goes past them. At which point, we get back to that line of like, how much do you weigh? 108, I think, and he shoots the grappling hook
but
up.
before he does that, there's a really subtle thing that happens here where he pushes a button on his belt and the grappling hook rotates around on its own. And I was like, that's so fucking cool. Why didn't they focus on that more? And then he puts it together. So I guess it's like grappling hook and then he puts the rope on it with this correct thing and then shoots it up. And there's that great, I mean, that to me is one of the iconic shots of him aiming the grappling hook on her shoulder. He pops it, puts it on, they go up, and then it stops midway. And I'm always like,
more than midway, it's to the top.
But it was about 2/3 of the way up, but far enough for me to be like, wait a minute, you want me to do what? And he's like, see that thing on my belt? Grab it. I'd be like, can we get a little bit more of a heads up before that? Because I don't know that I have the upper body strength to hold onto a little tiny thing and then hoist myself up. I guess adrenaline kicks in, Kevin.
But she grabs it. He falls to the ground. For Tim's one of Tim's points of not liking the movie, he lands on a bunch of trash and just rolls into the guys or whatever there, right? And then he's like knocked out from the fall or whatever. No, and they like. Do they shoot him? Because he falls. They shoot him on the ground. I forget.
He kicks one guy, and then another guy kicks him.
Oh, right.
Two guys pop up, and they just.
And then they all surround him, and they're like, "It's some kind of putty. It's body armor. He is human after all." Vicky Vale's up there getting her camera ready. Like, all right, let's take off the mask. And they go to take off the mask, and Vicky takes a photo, and there's this giant flash, and they're like, "Get it!" And they turn. They start shooting. He wakes up there. He starts kicking the shit out of everybody there.
That whole sequence is just like, what was your plan, dog? Like.
I think
you went up there and then you just dropped down and like fucking like it. Obviously, the fall wasn't a very graceful fall. You just kind of fell down, and like
it was disappointing.
He got so lucky, dude. He lucked the fuck out.
Well, I know why they did this, but it was one of those moments where, as a kid, I was like, why didn't he use his cape? Because the cape would have allowed him to float down. But then also, I stopped asking questions after the dude flipped over the guy with the fucking two swords. Right? Flips over the fence and just starts, and they have that wonderful moment where, again, I love that they actually thought through some of the functionality of the bat suit. He has steel plates on his arms and his legs, and so as the guy's hitting with swords, you see him blocking it, and there's sparks going everywhere, like king, 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 and then he just kicks the guy right in the fucking face, and it's done. I just think it's so cool.
So they finish that off. Vicky Vale, being smart, knows that he won't want these photos getting out. She gets the film out of the camera and puts it in her bra.
Comes back down and he immediately says, "You weigh a little bit more than 108." And she goes, "Come on." It's fucking such a I'll take it. It's a break with the character. Like he would never say that in real life, but I fucking love that line so much. It was funny. You were a little bit.
He calls the Batmobile back. It self-drives over. Stop. And it stops. They climb back in.
He has to dramatically say stop, and it has to stop right in front of him and be like, "Oh, look how cool it works."
Hey, this
Come
is
on,
still
bro.
some really good
He's still trying to
technology
get
from
Vicky.
1989. You know what I mean?
And then off they go down the road, man.
Exactly. They start ripping, roaring through the back streets of Gotham. They get out into the country. She goes, "Where are you taking me?" He's like, he doesn't answer her. She eventually starts trying to get a better look at his face, like I was talking about earlier. He hits the light to flash her, and she goes, and she turns around just in time to see them look like they're going to get into a head-on collision with a wall, but instead the wall goes up. They go through, and they're driving into the Batcave.
I love
tell you this,
things like that. Where, like, can you imagine the idea of Bruce Wayne building this car and being like, and then I'm going to put a light right there in case anyone wants to look at
Right
my
into their
face.
eyes. Nobody
I love
gets
it.
it. Nobody gets him. Nobody.
Well, not only that, but like first off, the editing in this scene is great. The editing in this movie in general, I think there are some great standout moments of just the pacing of the edit. But there's that moment where she goes, "Oh no," and then we cut back to her as the music like swells, and she looks behind her just in time to see the door closing.
Yeah.
And they pull right. This always gave me anxiety.
This kills
too,
me.
having to park in San Francisco, I'd be like, "What if you just went a little too far over that? Like you couldn't have made the platform just a skosh bigger, or you know what I mean?"
Well, not
But
even
it's
that.
got
I mean, he lets Vicky Vale get out of the car and walk
step.
to basically be her
fuck.
impending doom, right?
Yeah.
He throws the giant light and shows that she's on the edge. One
do
more
wanna give a
step, she would have
shout-out.
fucking gone over.
I want to give a shout out to the rotating the Lazy Susan, which they took
Sure.
from the '60s show because
Sure.
that's what they had there too. Which is
Yeah.
cool.
He walks her over to the back computer. He sits down. Yeah, what's up?
I just want to talk about the Batcave. Like, I
No,
thought
please do.
Awesome.
the
That's
multiple
awesome.
platform design was so cool, and like the fact that it looks like it's in the middle of this like cave ravine thing. It's just what
How about
an
like all of
interesting-
the
Why did
the
he have a
platforms
bat
are
in a
built,
cage?
but he has to have like
They're all
he has to
separate.
have,
They're like catwalks.
steel girders and stuff built because
Yeah,
they just
connecting
built
them.
them around the actual
it's
infrastructure
so
of the cave.
cool.
I think it was so low.
Yeah.
There's bats there too, and she's like, "Oh, bats." And he's like, "They're great survivors." Again, he's like, "You're a weirdo, Batman," and he's got one in a cage. You're like, "You're a fucking weirdo." I like it, but you're weird, dude. Walks him over. Yeah, and this is this whole thing you were talking about too earlier, Nick, with the whole like it's not a normal world or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, just the lighting cues in this. So the blocking is very specific in this. And there's a moment where, as they're talking, he throws the dossier on the thing and he's like, "I figured it out. It's not one product. It's a combination of three. Here, take this, get this into the news as soon as possible." And as he walks, he turns back around and we just get that like old school 50s like eye light. Just that key light on him so we can just see his eyes as he's talking to her. And then again, when he turns about, it lights his eyes from there, but his whole mouth is just in shadows.
And he keeps doing the weird thing of the computer chair, like turning away from wherever she's looking.
Right.
Anyways, though, yeah, she gets all that. We figure out it's the different beauty products in addition to each other. And she's like, "But why did you bring me here? Why give me this? You could have just dropped this in the paper." And he's like, "You're right. There is something else I want." Throws up the cape. And you're like, "What the fuck's going to happen?" And what happens is he roofies her. He roofies her, and she wakes up in her bed at home. And not only did he roofie her, he went into her bra. And now, again, argumentatively, Bruce and her are in love. They've already had sex. Not that this gives him consent or whatever, but I would be a little bit even more offended if I was Vicky Vale. Like, wait a second, this weird creeper bat dude did this to me, right? I'd be offended as well if it was like, wait a second, Bruce Wayne didn't get my consent and did it. But again, he's there for the film to protect his identity. She gives him the benefit of the doubt on it. It's a different time.
Yeah, but not only that, but her first reaction to it is obviously to her job, right?
Yeah, of course. So yeah.
We see where her
again, like,
priorities are, which
she
is
knows she's trying to keep something from him. Like,
she's trying to do something, and she knows that this would have been a big score for her. And her first reaction, I love her line delivery on this, where she wakes up and her first thought is, "Shit, where's the film?" And she clutches her chest and goes, "Oh, he took the film." Yeah, that's the only reason why she's disappointed, not for the fact that everything crazy that happened to her last night. She's like, "God damn it, I didn't even get the film out of this."
But she calls Knox, or Knox calls her. I forget. I think it's he calls her, right? "I've been trying to get a hold of you all day. Are you okay, available?" Like, why did you even know something was wrong? Like, did people say that they saw me running away from the thing? Everybody's dead. It doesn't matter. And he's like, "Wait, can we make the evening edition?" He's like, "Yeah, but it'll be close. You got something hot?" "Oh, it's real hot." And he's like, "Copy," and the copy guy's right there. And sure enough, the Gotham Globe Gazette, whatever it is, breaks the news that yes, here's what it is. It's this combination of different products that do this. And then you get the news reporter talking about like if it's going to be a deodorant plus mouthwash or whatever the fuck it's going to be, and that's how it's going to shake out that way.
Avoid these combinations.
Now that's happening, and it pisses off Joker, but I don't think we're there. I don't think we get Joker's reaction to it, right? Of him
No,
ruining
I
with
think
Alfred
on
and,
the news.
Yeah.
Oh
Is it
yeah,
on the
and he
news
punches
and
the
he's
screen.
watching the news. Yeah.
Oh
he's like,
yeah. Exactly.
fucks civilized
He
people.
punches the screen or whatever, and he's mad about it there. Then we're back in the Batcave where Batman's reading, or Bruce Wayne's reading the article. Alfred's there, and he's basically like, I don't want to keep mourn. It's the same Alfred shit you hear all the time. I don't want to mourn my dear lost friends and one day their son.
Yeah,
like he's basically like, let Vicky in. Like why don't you marry her? And he's like, that's not what I had in mind, kind of thing. And so it is the thing of just fucking tell her kind of thing. Very
Did we
independent.
pass up
David? Tell him.
Did we pass up this town needs an enema line? Because that's my
We
other
did.
favorite.
Yeah,
We
you
did.
That's
He's
the
like,
best
where?
bit.
He's like, where? A man dressed as a bat steals all my publicity. This town needs an enema, and then he just. It's so ridiculous.
So fucking good. So fucking good. So the Bruce Wayne heads to Vicky Vale's apartment for the first time. She's not thrilled to see him, even though she's been calling nonstop, but he's there. She's not thrilled to see him. He walks in, he comments for a while about how nice the apartment is and how much space they have. Then he's like, all right, cool. She starts laying into him a bit about it. And this is where he crosses the line too, where he's like, pushes her down on the couch. She's like, I like you, but shut up. And it's like, all right,
Right.
bro, that's a bit aggressive. I don't think
What the fuck was that for
Let's
real?
not do this or whatever.
I don't
you know?
like a lot of the direction in the scene. I don't like him losing his shit at the end of this either. I always thought this scene just kind of stood out to me as like, this is weird.
You mean losing his shit is let's get nuts?
You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get. I was like,
But see,
wow,
that's
do that.
but that's
weird.
me. That's one of the few, and I think the reason it stands out is because it doesn't happen a lot. That's one of the first times you see him actually acting out of character to try to provoke a response, and so it seems like he's being genuine because you don't see him do it. But for me, it's very much like Bale in Begins, right, where he's like acting like a moron at the hotel. He's not really a moron. He's trying to egg. He's trying to egg Joker into shooting him, or you can obviously shoot him because he's got the thing on, so that he can then get away and get ready to be Batman and stop.
I buy that.
Anyways, Bruce has this whole scene. Yeah, you're talking about. It's awkward in the beginning. I feel somewhat endearing at points. It's an interesting, weird look at Bruce Batman you don't see often. But he's negotiating. Trying to tell her that he's Batman. Of course, in the middle there's a ding dong. She goes over to answer their door, and it is in fact Joker. Bruce slips off into her bedroom, finds that metal plate, puts it under his shirt. We won't know that for a while. Meanwhile, on the outside, Joker's there, talking to Vicky, still trying to sell her on this idea of being the new girlfriend. He puts up Alicia's plate and he's like, she threw herself out a window, and he smashes it. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. About that time, Bruce enters the thing and he's like, what's this? Another rooster in the hen house. And so this is when
creepy and scary, man. Like the bits of the Joker here are just gold.
Bruce Wayne, Nespa. Sometimes.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And then he's like, I know who you really are. And like, let me tell you a story about a guy named Jack, and he got too big, flew too close to the sun, yada, yada, yada.
Violent. I like him already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. But eventually gets to the iconic line, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. And
let's get nuts.
Yeah, and Joker pulls the gun, aims at him and goes, tell me, you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? He's like, and then you see Bruce again break the act. Where he's trying to act all crazy, like, what did you just say? No, it's just something I say to all my prey. Shoots him. Bruce goes down. She screams.
And then he says, never rub another man's rhubarb.
Yeah. Fucking
Come
nuts.
on, man.
What a
Every
movie.
good line.
You said that the bullet looked small. I thought that was like a 44 caliber. That looked like a big old bullet.
It was one of those little tiny, little Dillinger, like the tiny little guns that used to, like, people would hide, like, in different places. I don't know.
It's
little
like 22 millimeter ones.
Yeah, something like that. But I was just like, how would you know that this tray of silver would stop anything? Because silver, I don't remember being very durable.
Particularly strong. Yeah, he's smart guy.
Yeah, there you go. Batman.
So then there's more talk between them, and then Joker leaves. I remember I was watching this last time. I'm like, all right, and this is where he kidnaps her. It's like, nope. He just leaves. He leaves this package that she turns around. Bruce is gone. And she picks it up, and there's the bullet in it. She's like, and then she opens the package that I would think is a bomb, is a Smilex gas thing. Like, I would get the fuck out of there and call the GCPD. Right. She doesn't. She opens. It's a handful of dead flowers.
And she passes out immediately.
Like, yeah, it's more. That's more that like weird comedy stuff they're putting in it, right? From here, what happens? We're something about the 200th anniversary yet? No, maybe.
No, I think
no, because I'm thinking the interruption scene.
Well,
something
maybe it was.
Here. But Bruce just goes back to the cave.
Yeah, I think she figures out at one point. She goes back and
this is where we get the flashback. This is where we get the flashback to Crime Alley. She goes back to the Gotham paper. Knox is there at the microfiche machine, which I always thought the coolest fucking thing. And then the internet ruined it, and I never really got to use one.
Nope.
And he finds the whole thing. We see that his parents were killed in Crime Alley. They were prominent doctors and good, do-gooders. It seems like they're just not as prolific as they are in other pieces of Batman fiction, which is why something like this Knox wouldn't know this. Like, I understand her not knowing it because she just came to the city, but like, you think Knox, who's a reporter and crime reporter at that, would know something about it. But I digress. Who fucking knows? There's a million murders that I'm sure happen to people I don't think murders happen that often, but maybe they have. I think there's probably been 100 murders in
At least.
I'm kidding. So yeah, from there then we're back to Batman researching stuff and more Alfred guilt maybe, but then more importantly, we're back to them being like, listen, I'm the mayor and I've been a dick this whole movie and I'm officially canceling the 200 thing that I've been stumping for this whole movie, I guess, because people are dying left and right. We don't want people fucking dying, so don't come out and die, Gotham. And everybody in Gotham's listening to it, even the biker gangs, even the bars, they're all, it's on, but they're not listening. In the middle of it, the Joker interrupts, right? Just whoop, like the fucking awesome moves he does on the thing here. And it's, back in the face makeup of a human being. And he's like, listen, like, I'm not letting you cancel this thing. I know I've been a bad dude, but I've just been doing my art and I won't be a bad dude on the 200th anniversary, right? It's a truce. I've taken off my makeup. I'm skipping ahead. Will Batman take off his, which is great stuff. And he's like, well, I'll sweeten the deal. What I'm going to do is drop, what is it, 200 or 20 million? 200 or 20 million? $20 million. I'm going to drop $20 million in cash. Don't worry, I'll be fine, on everybody there during the parade or whatever. And so you just come out Gotham and have a good time, and I'll drop this shit on you, and we will all have a lot of fun. And everybody's
listening to the radio like,
free money?
Exactly, yeah. Oh, I love free money, right?
No
way, dude. You hear that, I'd be like, I'm not gonna. That's not real. Like,
you wouldn't, but like a lot of people would. I feel like.
Yeah, you're right.
Even if there's like poisonous chemicals being thrown around, like in random products, like I guess he's.
No, this guy killed a lot of people, but now he's trying to make good by paying us, so it's cool. I'll go.
And all this time, Batman's like, what if there are balloons that Joker's bringing, and I need to get a gadget ready for my Batwing?
That's just the Batwing's just got that. It's just got those clips in case there's ever some kind of blimp disaster.
It's got that perfect little grabber.
What I love about it is it literally is the perfect number of teeth for the amount of ropes that he has to get. Like, it lines up perfectly. That is it's so campy and cheesy, but I like that subtle nod.
This is where we get the full-blown flashback, because when I've taken off my makeup, will Batman take off his? And Batman pauses it in the cave and looks at it, and then he thinks back to that night in Crime Alley, and we get to see him put it together that it was Jack Napier who killed his parents, because he does say, "Tell me, kid, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?"
I love how they directed this scene, because it's like almost a little slowed down. And the sound is a little slowed down, so it's eerie and weird. And they're walking like kind of in slow motion, but not really. And then we get that guy that they cast for Jack Nicholson.
Really good,
awesome,
really, really good, right? Yeah. But we come out of the flashback in the Batcave, and guess what? Alfred has brought Vicky Vale to the Batcave, and they come up and have this conversation, which I think's
favorite scene in the whole movie.
I know it is, and that's where your favorite line's about to come up. I'll let you deliver it all. Don't worry.
It.
But we have this whole conversation that I do really appreciate for setting it up of like, listen, we have something, right? Like Vicky's like, we have something. Like, I'm not crazy, right? You felt it too. I've loved you since the moment I first saw you, right? And then Nick, as I wrote down your favorite line, which is the exact one I wrote down.
She goes, I just gotta know, are we gonna try to love each other? And he goes, I want to, but right now he's out there, and I have to go to work. And then it is just
Daddy's got to go to work.
Why they decided to keep the one bat suit in a vault that no one could break through it's just a rubber suit, but it just opens up. And when you're a kid, dude, I was just like, oh my God, this is the cool. They see the belt. He takes the cowl out, and then it's just that shot of him looking up into the light with the music. And it's great. It's so good.
And from there, it's back to Axis Chemicals, where the Batmobile rolls in, giving no thought to due process at all. Blows through the gate. The guy starts shooting at it. Rolls into the chemical plant. They all start shooting at it. It just rolls up to a dead stop, puts up the shields, and everybody runs up and starts shooting like a bunch of morons. And just ding, 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 ding. And they all look down at these balls, and then we get it from outside.
It's so weird, because this scene didn't need to be in the movie, and if I were editing this, I would have been like, we got to cut this out because it's too brutal. Because he already established that the chemicals were what they were, and when I saw him do that, I was like, oh, they're going to trace it back to the Ace Chemicals or the Access Chemicals, and it's going to be totally fine. The only reason they needed the scene was so that they could have the chopper sequence, but none of this needed to be in it at all. I think they should just cut it for time.
Yeah, exactly. the Batmobile comes back out. Batman's standing there. He wasn't actually in the Batmobile. And then, Joker's in a helicopter flying away. Be like, oh, you almost got me. See you later. Like, fuck. If only I had any contraption that could get you in this thing right here in front of me. And so,
luckily, I made a Joker locator. And that helps you find Jokers.
He's right there. I found him. Got it. From then we jump over to the 200th parade, right? That's what starts where the Joker and his crew bring out the giant cake. They're going. Batman, who saw the helicopter, was like, I got something for that. Got his bat plane. He's out there now. But it's the whole thing's going. This Prince song's playing. Joker's throwing out money. He's having a great time. Jack Nicholson just eating the fucking scenery. I love it so goddamn much. Hubba, hubba, hubba. Who do you love? You know what I mean? It is fucking so good. And where's Batman? He's at home. Washing his tights. So fucking good. But then, this goes on for a while of them dancing and giving out money and everybody getting really into it. Knox and Vale show up. She's taking photos. Knox is writing about Gotham's greed. And then sure as shit, Joker's like, all right, it's fucking time or whatever. And so everybody like masks, and everybody put on their masks. Joker gives one final monologue to the people of like, you little people, I'm gonna rid you of your lives or whatever. The Smilex gas starts coming out. People start dropping. Vicky uses the mask she has from the museum. Knox, showing he's a good dude, right? Goes to the back of the car, gets one of the painter's masks and a bat, and then runs into the street to try to scares off a lot of the Joker henchmen who are just complete pussies, not prepared at all for any resistance. Even a newspaper reporter with a baseball bat. They let go of the balloon. Some of the balloons start lifting up, getting a little bit of distance from the human beings. One guy, Joker Goon, gets carried up there too. Meanwhile, like we're saying, Batman's out there with his fucking bat plane. He's bringing it in. At one point, Vicky's in the car and Knox runs back to the car and jumps on the hood, and then Vicky tears fucking ass to get out of there and then stops so fucking hard and throws him into trash, but still knocks his ass out. Like we're talking about, Batman swoops in. He comes in and grabs with the perfect amount of notches and little Swiss Army knife cutters, grabs all the balloons, flies them up into the stratosphere, lets them go right there. And then I'm going to put it here just because we're here because it's so fucking great.
And then all the balloons blow up, and then it's like, it's the end of the movie. And then they're in Paris and Michael Caine's there. And then, Batman's over there. And
no, instead, Batman, he does this final approach, but he does that thing, Nick, that we fucking love so much where he breaks through the clouds. That symbol against the moon, and then fucking dies smack down.
This is one of those things that you do just for yourself when you're Batman. I'm just gonna do
totally.
it.
Oh yeah,
just
exactly.
Pops up and then comes back down. Yeah, so good.
Meanwhile, on the ground, right? Joker's like, he stole my balloons. Bob Gunn.
Why didn't somebody tell me he had one of those?
That's so fucking good. Shoots Bob dead, and the new guy steps up. You are my number one. Actually, I guess he said that to Bob earlier, right?
He said it to Bob earlier.
Yeah, my apologies.
Bob's only number one he's got, bro. He knows.
And so then, now, Shades of the Dark Knight, which we'll get to eventually. The bat plane is coming at Joker on the plane. It's like, come and fucking get me. Come on. He doesn't say fuck. And like, Batman's got a fucking dead lock on him with missiles and Gatling guns and everything. Gatling guns all miss, the explosions all miss, and Joker just opens his coat, pulls out this enormously long, ridiculous gun, shoots one shot at the bat plane, fucking done. It's over. Bat plane comes down, smoking.
Seriously, let's talk about this. So he was trying to kill the Joker. He missed. He was aiming for him, and he missed.
Yeah.
Come on, man. How cool of a Batman could this possibly be? When you're in your fucking dope-ass Batwing and like you have everything you need. You have the tools for all the jobs, and you miss the dude that's standing right in front of you, and then you get shot down by a handgun?
A big
really
ass
long barrel,
handgun.
though. Really long barrel.
Really long. Also,
fuck, you guys are right.
Like
really long.
Like these aren't modern. Like I don't even know like how easy for a fighter jet to shoot a person. Like a single person on the ground would be. Like, they're made to shoot bigger things, right?
I mean, what I'll point out, Tim, of course, is that, remember, Bruce Wayne and Alfred built all this stuff. And this is clearly the first run of it. They don't know how accurate the Gatling guns are, the missiles.
Keep going with the excuses.
No. There's no excuses. You're right. Like, it's what hurts for me is that there's no explanation of why he misses. Like, everything is coming up 100% on this fighter plane. Like, of course, why wouldn't this hit him? Why wouldn't this go for you? You know what I mean? But it's not like game-breaking bug for me.
I just don't think that like a fighter jet is made, like weapons on them are designed to shoot something that is what, like at most 2 feet wide, 6 feet tall. You
This
know,
fighter jet just picked up balloons.
Yeah, you're right. It did just pick up balloons.
I don't think there's any excuses. I think it's a goofy, weird thing. I've always had a problem with Joker being able to shoot down the plane with one fucking shot from his handgun. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff here, but I think it ruins the movie. But it is to your campy questions, I guess. Anyway,
it does blow Joker back, but like not enough.
That plane goes down. It smashes into the abandoned Gothic church. Vicky runs over there to help out Batman, who she knows is Bruce. Obviously, he's no longer in the cockpit, but Joker comes over. He's like, "Hey," and he got the gun. He's like, "Come on!" And he radios to the thing of like, "Hey, I need to pick up at the top of the cathedral in 5 minutes." And then he looks up to show us how huge the fucking thing is. He's like, "Better make it 10." They start their ascent up. Batman was hiding under some other piece of the wreckage. He comes up. They start on the stairs, Vicky and Joker. Batman comes into the cathedral, like we were talking about earlier. I think fucked up from the crash, collapses a little bit, but again, not well done storytelling of him. It does look like he just fucking trips on something, knocks all the fucking pews down. They go just dominoing, giving Joker the heads up that somebody else is in the building. Then it's a very long ascension, very, very long ascension of them going up this thing again that feels like a video game.
Well, what's interesting here, Greg, actually, about how long it is, at around 1 hour 45 minutes before the Joker enters the Cathedral of Vicky, he requests over the walkie-talkie for transportation for 2 to arrive in 10 minutes. Between entering the cathedral and the arrival of the Joker, the action inside the cathedral unfolds in real time.
Oh, nice. I like that. But was there ever an explanation of how all the goons got to the top of the thing?
No, they just were there. I assume that's where they were supposed to exfil out of, so they just had them up there.
Nice job.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because that like kind of was at or en route to their for their little poison parade thing.
I guess
maybe it ends there. Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I always assume. I mean, it's
there's
just
a lot.
Joker magic.
He's fucking like Andy said earlier. How's he going over so many ledges and not fucking dying? We got enough things to. If you want to nitpick, I'm not.
Where'd they get a multicolored gas mask? Who knows? I don't know.
Oh, they made that. So yeah, Batman makes his way up. Gordon and the cops show up, but Joker uses his posy again to bring a giant bell down that blocks the path and almost takes out Batman as well, but does not. Eventually Batman gets up there. He comes through the little trap door and he sees Joker dancing with Vicky Vale, who again appears to have been drugged or just lost the will to live, which is very like I don't get 100%, but whatever. And then now Batman's got to fight a bunch of goons like we were talking about earlier. The knives guy's back. There's the foot knives guy. Batman's got the crotch blocker that he does to him or whatever. Eventually, there's the one guy who actually knows some kind of martial arts or something that's just beating the shit out of Batman. And like really does win and beat Batman and toss him over the thing. But again, Batman somehow also grabs onto the underside of the bell, reaches up with his feet, grabs the dude's head, slams it into the bell, then tosses him down. Outside GCB, he's getting the lights and they're putting it all up there, like so they can see what's going on. All the goons are eventually defeated. Now it's time for Batman to take the fight to the Joker, right? And Joker's dancing with Vicky Vale, and he's like kissing on her arm like a creepoid. And then Vicky notices that Batman's done fighting everybody, so she starts kissing on his arm like a creepoid. And then she ducks down. You assume like Joker thinks he's about to get a BJ, and in fact, no.
What a great time for a blowjob. Maybe I'll find Batman, but
Batman shows up and he's like, "Excuse me, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?" And punches him. And then there's this whole conversation. I actually like it too, where the Joker's like, "You made me," and then Batman's like, "You made me. I made you. You made me. We all made each other. It doesn't matter, right?" I don't know.
He gets popped in the chops. He goes, "Oh,
yeah."
Lets it go, and it's just the fake teeth. And then he tries to hit Batman.
You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? God, yeah. Eventually, they battle to the side. Joker gets punched over. I don't even remember. Then Batman and Vicky look over. Joker lets go of whatever he's holding on to, grabs them, flips them over. He's on like a 1-inch thing. They're hanging from the Gothic structure of this church. Joker's got that great line when he talks to the gargoyle. "What are you laughing at, pal?" Just fucking great stuff of Joker being a madman here. Batman and Vicky hanging precariously.
Vicky falls at one point, and Batman grabs her and swings her back over to the other side. And she screams and goes, "Oh!" and holds on again.
The helicopter shows up. It's time for me to leave. He gets on the ladder. Batman pulls out his caltrops, right? Isn't that what these ones are?
I don't know
The
what
balls
they are,
on the
but
string.
yeah,
Is that right?
something
Throws
like
that. One wraps around his Joker's ankle. One wraps around the gargoyle. Joker starts getting pulled. Eventually gets yanked off. The gargoyle's hanging. He's hanging. Eventually he loses his grip. He falls down, screaming the entire way. Then Batman pops her back up, then back up. They're safe. They rappel down at some point, right? I think. I don't remember what they do.
They fall.
Maybe we get nothing.
They fall.
They fall.
and
Oh,
he
right.
pulls out his
They
gun.
fall.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Luckily, the
And then
grappling hook caught them. Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
as
The
opposed to
claw.
them just breaking their landing with a car. That would
Yeah,
be silly.
exactly. Let's not do that again. The GCPD,
As opposed to her just slipping right through his arms from like the sheer speed of all of it, and just like fucking...
Everyone's got unbelievable upper body strength in this movie. We've already established this.
So then the GCPD approaches Joker's body, which is laughing. They pull it out. It's one of those laughing bags. I vaguely remember these in joke stores back in the day.
Laughing bags.
Yeah, you remember these things?
No,
There was something you wound up and they were in a bag. No. It was a thing. It was a weird thing. I can't explain it any better than I just did, but that was kind of a stupid gag gift. And so from there, the movie's over. We get the conversation.
Oh, no.
We get the scene at the end where he's like, got a letter from Batman. It's a
I was getting there. Slow the fuck down. Calm the fuck down. All right.
I will fuck off.
The Commissioner Gordon and everybody's giving a speech at night. Hey, we're gonna hold a press conference to address everything that happened horribly last night or last week or whatever. All right, cool. You're gonna do it like what, 9 a.m.? No, we're gonna do it 9:30 p.m.
You got to do it at night.
I'm aware.
The light.
There.
And
he's like,
so
Batman.
lame when they did it daytime, and they were like,
Can't see it. What is it? What is it? I can't see it.
Don't worry, we'll show you guys later.
Batman left a letter, and it's like the most fucking pious bullshit. If the forces of evil ever arise, all right, Batman, you're fucking trying to conjure something here. But yeah, just call me. And Knox is like, he actually Knox in the middle of the press conference walked off to talk to Vicky Vale, who's like, I'm out. What about our Pulitzer? I'm out. See you later. Again, because as Kevin said, she's got journalistic integrity. She can't cover the Batman story now that she knows he's Bruce Wayne. Knox walks back though just in time to ask, call him. How? Do we have his phone number? Call him with what? With this. And they hit the switch, and it's the fucking bat symbol or bat signal, and it looks fucking awesome, Nick. It looks awesome, Nick.
So good. As opposed to every other bat signal where they were like, if it was in the clouds, you would not be able to make it out at all. This one is perfectly circular.
Just fuck it.
Just a little bit, and they're like, fuck it.
And so then we get Vicky Vale walking away from the light in the sky to Alfred, and it's a really long walk, but they condense it, thankfully. And she's like, hello, Alfred, and he's like, hello, like, I thought champagne would be in order. And also Master Bruce says he's going to be a bit late. And she's like, I expected it or whatever. Somehow I expected it. I figured. Yeah, that's what it was. And from there we get the slow pan through all the Gotham, all the way to the top where the signal is, Batman is, and you get the chimes from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, I love it. No,
I don't. And I was like, why did you end it? And then it finally goes into the Batman theme. You're like, all right, that's a cooler way to do it.
It
just punctuates the moments of the song. I love it.
But it was like, at the very, very end, I'm glad it went directly into it, because for a while there, it's like, this is too triumphant and positive. Like, why are we hitting these major notes? And then immediately, all right, fuck it. We need the cool Batman music.
It ends on the minor note, though, where it's like he's looking at it, and then it dips and kind of ends. They're like, oh, Batman's gonna. He's not done fighting crime.
There's eventually a transition, but for a while there's like, this is too like goody.
Superman.
Like,
I love it. Yeah. I love it. He's just standing on a tiny little thing that's super precariously
looking at his own signal.
It's awesome.
And also, why are you going to be late? They're only using it for this PR blast. What are you? What are you going to do? This isn't a real call.
He wants to make sure it works.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
And
Let's do a little haiku in review.
7 syllables in the middle. You'll need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review. Haiku in review.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny to write your reviews in haiku form, just like Blackjack did.
Blackjack!
Black and yellow suit. A Batmobile that's so cool. 8-9 Batman rules. Ignacio Rojas says, for a Batman flick, there isn't much Batmaning. Nick, it's not that good.
What do you mean there's not much Batmaning? What the fuck are you talking about? He Batman's the entire half his movie is him Batmaning. Ignacio.
He's Batmaning a lot.
He doesn't do
Eat
a
some
lot of
cereal.
detective work.
Joe
Right?
Merton
Cereal.
says, you must be joking. Do I look like I'm joking? Batman crashes in. Grant Burton finally says his name is Batman. He kicks a lot of people and gets shot a lot. That is true. Those are all facts.
Cool.
Yes, that happens.
Facts on facts. Greg, you want to kick off all the segments?
Oh, sure. I mean, how many do we want to do? Do you want to do them all? Well, sometimes we're peppering them in. I'm not sure. Andy, hit me with Gotham's finest, a.k.a. Secret Delights.
What?
The secret delight of this one is undeniably Prince. It's always
Ooh.
but then when it hits, you're like, oh shit, I guess this is a goofy movie right now. And I'm feeling the vibes. They don't work for the movie, but they work for me.
They work for the vibes. I do like that. The Prince soundtrack is one you don't think of usually when you think of that's a great secret delight, aka Gotham's finest. Best bat suit right now, of course. Number 66 is there. This has got to be number 1, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
Easily. Are you kidding me? Not even
All right,
question.
don't
Because his body looks so good. Like the sculpting of the muscles looked awesome on this suit.
Yeah.
When you can actually see it, that's the problem though. For
What
the
about
most part, it's cape with giant fucking head.
Dude,
for
he
Ragu
looks so
Bagu?
cool.
Currently number 66 is number 1 with Catwoman, Riddler, Joker, and Penguin. Obviously, this one's got to be the top.
Ragu. Bagu.
Come on, guys, we can just beat them.
This one's on you, Greg.
I'm just saying we have a giant fucking segment, you know what I mean, of like all these different lists. If we get to the end here and we're going through, then we're in the list segment, and I need a list song. Andy, hit me with the Batman list song.
The Batman list. The Batman list. Will we hit or will we miss the Batman list?
Thank you. You nailed it, Andy.
Yeah,
Welcome
dude.
to the Batman list where we go through all the lists we have for this fucking show. Yeah, so Ragu Bagu. It's got Jack Nicholson fucking crushes this. He's
Totally.
insanely
Crushes
good.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Number 1. There you go. I have one list here. Ragu Bat Guys. Rad Guys, Bat Guys. I don't know. So are we ranking the Batmen there? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So then obviously
Michael Keaton, I
Adam
think,
West was number 1. So now where are we putting Michael Keaton?
Number
I think
2.
he takes what? No, I think he takes number 1. I think that like
You're
it's just
crazy,
the-
Tim. You're
Dude, he's
crazy,
so
bro.
bad, man. It's
He's
so
number
crazy.
No,
So
66
bad.
was so bad. 66 was so bad where it's like a joke.
They committed to the joke.
Yeah, but not.
Hey,
like,
I'm
that
not
doesn't.
saying it's
That
good
doesn't.
either.
Just because you commit to a joke doesn't mean the joke works.
Not saying it worked. Just
No,
saying
okay,
this
but I'm
didn't.
saying this worked way better than that commitment.
I think it's much
I'll
more
put him as
fascinating
number
to
one.
watch Keaton in this. I think he tries to bring
Way,
dimensions
yeah.
to it, and I think he tried to have a decided difference between Bruce Wayne and Batman. And obviously, like Adam West just played Batman way more for camp and way more for fun. Whereas this, I think he actually tried to give the character dimensions. And obviously, this is my childhood Batman, so I'm going to give Keaton a number 1 with a battering across the board.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I think it's without a doubt. I like the Michael Keaton Batman in this movie, and I do think that it's different than it's similar to when we talk about DCEU, where it's like I wouldn't do it this way, but I like the interpretation here. I like the range of him. I like how he is this unsure of himself both as Batman and as a Bruce Wayne. So
Yeah, I
he's
just feel like
number 1.
we're adding a lot to that of like based on what we know of these characters and like we're giving so much into it. Just what we see in this movie. I get that it's a different interpretation. I just didn't really vibe with it. I think that he's way too weird and inconsistent between being Bruce and Batman, where like it shines through in different ways where I'm just like, all right, like you're talking deeper and like that stuff is cool. And him having his own spin there is great. And there are moments where Batman does cool stuff, but I think that specifically the Bruce Wayne always reads as weird to me. And I don't like how much Batman fumbles into stuff. So
I understand that. Still love it. And then Ragu Alf, which is Alfred's.
Oh, I
we
think
got
Michael
here.
Go's got to go at number 1 too.
Yeah, I think so too.
he was fine. Yeah.
He's great.
I don't think he's great, but I think he's that classic interpretation, right, of what we think Alfred is.
I think he has that sweet moment with
Vicky?
and also the cool moment at the party where he is taking care of everything, just so like mechanically tied with Bruce, putting stuff down, and he's just like it shows like, oh, this is like the best butler you can have. But he does tell Vicky about the Batman,
I mean, that
that is a good point.
I feel like it's something I think about.
Hey, but I think he knows that Bruce was going to do it / tried to do it.
Sure,
and I think he also knows that Bruce needs her in that moment.
Well,
Like,
we'll
he
see
needs
how
to just
how the relationship has gone in the next movie, huh?
We sure will. We sure will. Hey, you know what? No future spoilers. Those are all the list, Tim.
There we go. Now it is time to rank the Batman movies. We have number 1, Batman 66. I mean, I don't think there's any denying this is number 1.
This is way better than Batman 66. Yeah, for sure.
So there we go. Number 1, Batman 1989. Number 2, Batman the movie 1966. Next week, we are doing Batman Returns. Exciting stuff.
I can't wait. I haven't seen this movie in a long time.
Yeah.
Bruce
I
Wayne,
remember.
why are you dressed as Batman?
I remember liking Returns demonstrably more than this one. So I'm excited.
Returns is a lot darker, a lot more fucked up.
I remember it being
It's
a
more
lot darker.
Yeah.
Danny
Till then.
DeVito fucking made me uncomfortable.
Me too, Kevin. Me too, man.
Andy, till next time. Same bat time.
Same bad time, same bad channel. Fuck. I forgot.